good afternoon, and welcome to ESN once again, as the the AWSCO Windows Cup Series field navigates through its inaugural postseason. They find themselves here at the end of the second round of the playoffs, where 15 cars will become 10 at the end of this race, as the Cup Series field gets ready for the Copilot 500 here at Martinsville Speedway. 500 laps, 263 miles around this very tight half-mile oval, one of the big historic venues for stock car racing as a whole. Been around since the mid to late 1940s. It's been a staple on the NASCAR circuit for basically as long as the sanctioning body itself has been around. And now the AWSCO field will take on this historic short track here in Southern Virginia as the playoffs continue to ramp up for round 36 of 40. Once again, the end of the second round. Lots to talk about from a points perspective. Many drivers finding themselves in or around the cut line bubble. Just eight cars in that bubble zone find themselves only 12 points separating many of those drivers, and one of them also just happens to be on pole today. As we look forward to this both fairly grueling but also bound to be entertaining race. Lots of factors to talk, many factors to take into here. And at the end of this race, we'll have lots to look into, and 5 fewer cars will have a chance to run for the championship. Welcome to the FanDuel Fan Studio here. I am Rasha, and welcome to the AWSCO pre-race show. I'm joined by my usual co-host Ellie here in the studio today. There's plenty to look forward to in this race, I would think. And there's as I said before, we're at an elimination race, and as history tends to speak when it comes to elimination races at Martinsville Speedway, lots of drama can occur lots of drama is seemingly bound to happen at these races. Looking back at the NASCAR Cup Series here in the past few years, we've seen our share of dramatic moments in the late stages of the Martinsville elimination race. Lots to talk. There's lots of moments, such as in 2020 and 2022, where last minute drama ended up shaping the dynamic of the season as a whole. And while we're not at that point of the season yet, where we're right on the cusp of the winner-take-all race, there's still lots to consider for these playoff drivers as they line up on the grid here. What do you think of this racetrack, and how do you expect these drivers are going to be taking on the challenge of 500 laps at a short track like this one, where handling is going to be the main handling and tire wear management are going to be the main factors to think about for most of the race, I would think.
I feel like this track is going to be very interesting to watch unfold this race here. Given the field right now, the field is very competitive. Not many drivers have a huge lead in points. And given this track is, one, hard to pass, there's tons of braking, and the tire management is going to be one of the biggest key factors here. I feel like this is going to be a very hard and grueling race for some of these drivers, and I feel like that's going to make it all more dramatic. I think a big thing I'm also looking out for is just who's getting decent runs and who's not, because it is very hard to pass here, and that's what makes this kind of a difficult track, especially where we are in terms of the playoffs. And I feel like that's going to be interesting to watch. I mean, there's drivers who aren't so high above the cut line, and if they're not going to get a good run, and or if somebody else is out there who's just above you or just below you, and you're getting a good run or they're leading, it's going to be hard to pass them and make that ground up. So I think that's going to be one of the more interesting things to watch this race.
Yeah, this track is called the Paperclip for a reason. If you look at a map of this racetrack, it's very obvious why that's the case. It's the way I describe this racetrack is effectively as 2 straightaways and 2 hairpins, and there's a fair bit of banking in those corners. You don't see it from the point of view of the TV cameras, but there's quite a bit of banking in those corners. But regardless, this racetrack's going to race like a lot of short tracks. It's going to be primarily a bottom feeder track. Obviously with these tight corners, managing corner entry and exit is going to be really just as important to keep that momentum up, try to get as many good runs as possible. And yeah, the main objective is going to be making sure that you find yourself on the inside line for as long as possible in this race, basically. You're not going to be making too many passes on the outside line. Though, obviously, with the way the starts are handled 2 by 2, that's going to be it's going to be a little bit more hectic that way, with, of course, 20 cars all on the outside line, probably going to be looking to make their way to the inside as quickly as possible. And while we didn't see this in the Continental Series race yesterday, there's always the potential for big accidents to occur with just how little room there is to move around at this track. Just, one wrong move, one car spinning at the wrong time could cause a lot of problems for these drivers. And there's never the potential for a big accident is low, but never zero at Martinsville, I would think. And certainly the chaos factor is definitely going to be ramped up by the pressure of the postseason, and this being an elimination race, every position is going to matter. But of course, 500 laps. This being a 500 lap race means that managing the aggression and kind of remembering when to give and when to take is going to be, I think, one of the most important parts of this race. We talked about this in our pre-race show in the Continental race, where being aggressive at the right time is just as important as learning to be aggressive in general at this track. And with 500 laps, you don't want to be making too many. You don't want to be causing too many problems and making too many enemies early on, because that can really bite you really quickly. And with a lot of drivers coming in with lots to lose here, one wrong move could put yourself in a world of hurt at this track.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned those corners. I believe there's about only 10 to maybe 12
degrees. I think
12 degrees of banking.
It's visible if you're at the track itself, but
yeah,
you can't really see it on TV. It does seem flat.
Yeah, and once you get out of those, you're back down to no banking. It's just flat straightaway, and there's not much room to make moves here. So you do eventually see some drivers try and make some bump-in runs. I mean, we've seen that in the NASCAR Cup Series sometimes. And I think when you speak of aggression and the right time to be aggressive here, it's definitely not the beginning of the race. And we're probably going to see some people doing that anyways, but you don't want to get too aggressive at the beginning of the race. If I was driving here, I would lay back for the first maybe 100 laps. Don't fall too far back, obviously, but you don't want to push your car too much too early on in the race, or you're going to end up hurting yourself.
Yeah. And as we look at the weather outside right now, it is fairly cloudy here at Martinsville today, so not something that these teams will have probably considered. Going to be lower temperatures throughout the day, as opposed to the conditions that we saw in the Continental race yesterday. We'll see how that affects the handling. We'll see how that affects the car's handling here, especially on the longer run, as we're expecting to at least have a few long runs as the race goes on. One driver that won't be particularly concerned with the goings-on here in Martinsville, though, is going to be Andrea Davison, who's already locked into the next round of the playoffs, courtesy of her win in the opening race of this round of playoffs at Oregon. and that's definitely put herself in a good position. Even though points-wise, she's already pretty decent, sitting second in points if she wasn't locked in. But obviously obviously starting 37th won't be too big of a bad break for that team, given that they're effectively here just to kind of see and figure out what they can learn from a race management perspective. Obviously, when that pressure is kind of eased up from you, you kind of have a bit more room to kind of experiment with your car and see what you can do, see what kind of different things you can do, and that's something that might translate later on into the season. But looking at the rest of the starting lineup, it's definitely a bit of an interesting front row here. Yania Waterton, driver of the number 13 MBYW Mercedes, is on pole. A bit of an unlikely figure to see here, but she has been one of the surprise packages of the playoffs. Still in this, everyone kind of expected her to be a bit of a write-off in the first round, but she made it past there, and she's managed to navigate through the traffic of the second round to find herself 9 points above the cut line, and starting before this race, starting on pole, give her that one extra point as well. And starting alongside her, and a Cup Series debutante, Mila Shestina, replacing the number 40, the regular driver of the 42, Mika Gennaro, in her first qualifying attempt, put it on the outside pole here at Martinsville. Very impressive qualifying effort from the Continental Series regular here. Looking at the rest of the top 10, you have Arlen Handstrom and Rachel Cole on row 2. A pair of playoff drivers in Hollis Jukovic and Bria Delot in row 3. Jukovic is at the bottom of the standings there, 19 points back. Another driver looking to get as many points as possible, at least maybe try to lead a few laps, maybe even win the race, and kind of make that point situation moot for herself. And Bria Delon finding also just 2 points back at the cut line. Lots at play there with those two cars. On row 4, Perry Alicante is another playoff driver, 37 points up, fairly safe as coming into this race, with Jami McJasmine in the 6th, starting alongside her. Youngwei Koo and Leisha Byrne make up the rest of the top 10. Looking at the rest of the playoff cars, they're pretty evenly spread out throughout the field, kind of through the midfield. You see Tapaman in 14th, or Tosama in 18th, Talberson in 19th, Yanaga in 22nd, Ayar Siraj and Nihil in 23rd and 24th, Little 25th, Vebels 27th, Malikson in 32nd, and then we already mentioned Andrea Davison, 37th, already locked into the next round, so she doesn't have to worry too much about what happens in this race. But yeah, seems like all these playoff teams definitely at least paid a little bit of attention to their qualifying setup, which might be of use here at Martinsville, given how difficult it can be to pass. But of course, a 500-lap race means a lot of strategy can play out over the course of this race. So starting kind of in the midfield further out back might not be too big of an issue, unless of course a big accident strikes in the opening stages of the race, which obviously if you get a decent, starting in the midfield just kind of makes you a bit more prone to danger, where all those drivers are going to be pushing and shoving each other more. They're more more likely to be more aggressive, I think, to fight for every position in the midfield, where there's a lot more to gain as opposed to when you're starting out front. At the start of the race, if you're starting in the top 10, you're kind of content where you are for the time being. Whereas if you're in like the 20 to 25 range, you're going to want to move up as many positions as you can in that early stage of the race, and that can cause problems. And there's a lot of playoff drivers starting out there in that zone, so we'll see we'll see how that shakes up for them in this race. Who are you looking at in particular here in the playoff field?
Well, quickly before I get into that, I think more than half of the playoff field is starting from around row 7 to row 14, so that's going to be very dangerous, especially in the beginning of the race. That's what I'm going to be looking out for. You don't want to move too much once you're in the top 10, at least for the first maybe like 20, 30 laps. But once you're starting out, that middle field is going to be very tricky to navigate. But in terms of drivers I'm looking out for, I do want to mention Yanaya Waterton. I'm not sure she necessarily is racing to win. She might be, but she doesn't need one here. She just needs to run really well, and she'll be good. Hale Zukovic, she qualified really well.
That's someone who needs to. You need to run as many points as possible.
She needs to have a really great race here. She needs to either have a great race or win. She could do either. Now the thing is there's plenty of other drivers who are in the same boat as her, who are maybe like only 2 or 4 points above the cut line or below, and I'm not sure those drivers will have the best race. And I think that's what's going to be the most interesting thing to see here is who started out in the middle of the field is going to try and challenge Hale Zukovic, because I think she's got a decent car today.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned how close the points are. Of the 5 drivers below the cut line heading into this race, 3 of them are within 3 points of said 10th place car. So every point is going to matter in this race for those drivers especially. If you're Talberson or Jukovic, you really want to stack up as many points as possible and hope that one of the drivers sitting just above the cut line has some issues. We saw that was the case with in the Continental Series race, where the 2 drivers that were right above the cut line had pretty disappointing races. Ended up on the outside looking in at the end of things to drivers who ran good races the entire way and finished in the top 10. So that's, I think, one of the keys to the race that we're going to be mentioning is just kind of manage your position well. And one final thing to look to is, of course, restarts and penalties. That's another major point that I think affected a few playoff drivers in the Continental Series is that you want to avoid getting penalties for jumping the restart. You can't jump to the outside and pass for position before reaching the start-finish line, or else you'll get sent to do a stop-and-go penalty, and that's going to lose you at least 1 lap most of the time. We saw in the Continental Series race a well-timed restart could net you the lead or gain you a few positions, but if you time that move too early and you pass someone before heading the start-finish line, that might cost you a lap or even more. So that's another thing that these drivers have to look out for, is just making sure you minimize the number of mistakes you make, because otherwise you're going to find yourself dig yourself a hole early on that might be difficult to recover from as the race goes on. And with that, that'll do it for our pre-race show here in the FanDuel Fan Studio. Now we're going to send things over to the booth now, where Echo and Eddie will be calling the Copilot 500 here at Martinsville. Hope you enjoy the show here in the AWSCO Windows Cup Series.
And welcome to the Martinsville Speedway here in Martinsville, Virginia, in Southern Virginia, for a very exciting race. It'll be the cutoff race for the second round of the playoffs. It's the Copilot 500. We're here 500 laps, and at the end of all those 500, we're going to learn 5 cars who will no longer have their shot at the championship, and there will be 10 left that will have another shot to make their mark. I'm joined by Eddie here in the booth. Eddie, how are you doing? And what do you expect from this race tonight?
I'm doing fine. I cannot escape the state of Virginia for the life of me, as per usual. But regardless of that, does mean I get to stick around for the fun one, I would say. Admittedly, of the 3 elimination races, Watkins, Glen, Rockingham, I have no beef with either of you, but Martinsville is the type of track I like to see an elimination race, because it forces drivers to, I mean, you can't think anymore, you just gotta do it. You just gotta go. And whatever it takes, you know, you're gonna probably anger a couple of people, you're gonna ruffle some feathers, you're gonna be fighting, you know, name any one of those, like, you know, metaphorical phrases or not, but you're gonna be fighting like hell to get to the front, get yourself into a playoff position, And Martinsville's the type of track where they're not going to give you a lot of space to fight. You're going to be practically in a phone booth, and you still got to throw hands to try and get what you need to get through the next round. So, just perfect. Just a beautiful madness is what I expect to see here today. And, yeah, looking forward to see how 15 drivers handle the fact that only 10 of them can make the next round.
Well, at least one of those drivers knows that they're going to be in the next round, so it's more like 14 drivers. But still, we're going to go through our starting grid here for the race here in Martinsville. Row 1, Yania Waterton comes in 9 points to the good. She's alongside Mila Chestina, making her Cup Series debut in that 42 car this week. She put it on the outside pole, an impressive qualifying run for Chestina. Row 2 is Arlen Handstrom alongside the 52 of Rachel Cole. Row 3, Halis Jukovic, 19 points behind the cut line. She needs to get it together if she's going to get in. She's going to need some luck too. She's alongside Bria Delod, who comes in only 2 points back. Delod is in the thick of that cup battle. Row 4, the 18, Perry Alicantes, 37 points to the good. Not a lock, but pretty close to being one. Alongside her is the 6 of Jamie McJasmina. Row 5 is the 38, Young Wei Koo, and the 91 of Alicia Byrne. In row 6 is the 21, Amani Wandayo, and the 15, Tabrizia Tolerone. Row 7, last week's winner at Talladega, DeGabby Gabriella, alongside the 31, Taylor Happelman, who enters just 3 points back. She gained 3 points She gained a few points last week because a couple cars were sent down pit road to clear the way for the leaders. The 31 gained positions from that, and so she's 3 points back as opposed to where she could have been, which was about 6 points back. Row 8 is the 92, Mikaliatica, and the 3 of Mimi Barino. Row 9, the 10 of Adi Stoneman, and the 93 of Rena Tosima, who enters 8 points to the good. Row 10 is the 39, Lily Toberson, who enters 15 points behind the cut line. Alongside her, the 34, Mika Harina, enters 2 points behind. Row 11, the 8 of Lauri Schlussenbach, and the 46, Jan Fioniga, who enters 13 points up on the cut line. Row 12, the 98, Ava Ajarsaraj, enters 27 points to the good on the cut line. She's in a pretty solid spot. Alongside her, the 64, Jocelyn Niahale, who enters only 6 points to the good. Row 14. 14? No, row 13, the 71 of Abby Little, who enters 4 points above the cut line, alongside the 16 of Sky and Jetta. Row 14, the 99, Marisha Vebels, 2 points to the good on the cut line, alongside her, the 1 of Alicia Vancy. Row 15, the 60 of Amory Wesco, and the 27 of Nietzsche Garnston. Row 16, the 2 of Isa Ijavida, and the 23, Yappy Malakson, who enters 20 points to the good. Row 17, the 72 of Janet Parkins, and the 82 of Katrin Edelstein. Row 18 is the 9 of Carly Byrne, and the 32 of Cinley Raristoun. Row 19, the 22, Andrea Davison, in to the next round already because she won at Oregon. Alongside her, the 26, Sophie Chantaze. Row 20, the 96 of Angelia Brigatino, and the 17, Pace Linieria, winner at Watkins Glen just a couple weeks ago.
Drivers, start your engines!
Command has been given. 500 laps. What do you think the key is going to be to this race tonight, Eddie?
Well, it depends if you want to win or if you want to survive. I think those are two very different things. If you want to win, I think Ellie said it best, and just sort of playing the conservative game from the start and pushing once you know there are going to be less drivers in the fight. And if you want to survive, just use your front bumper and hope no one uses your rear.
They come off turn 4 to the green flag, and we're racing in Martinsville for the final race of the second round. And already we've got to look for the lead. Here comes Arlen Handstrom looking to the inside on Waterton.
Thought Mega Gennaro was going to clear back there.
You mean Chestina?
Christine. I'm not caught up with this.
Nah, you're good. Don't worry about it. Arlen Handstrom leads the first lap. Halis Jukovic doing exactly what she needs to do. She's up to second spot as she's just gotten by Waterton as the caution is already out.
Oh,
There's
got a mess.
There's a bit of a mess. I think somebody got spun around in front of the field. That might have been the 3 of Barino.
Arena, Stoneman's going to move. Stoneman's in the pits.
Caution is out.
This might actually be the most dangerous part of the race right here because they gotta. There's not a lot of space in front of you, behind you. You just gotta, like that. Like, guys, come on now. Civil. Try not to damage your car here. I know aerodynamics don't matter as much here at the paperclip, but you know, any damage is still damage.
Everybody looks like they're coming on it looks like everybody's coming to pit road here, so.
I almost thought we were gonna go 3 wide in the pits.
Yeah, they tried to. '62 is gonna win the race out, and she's gonna try and get that bonus point. Alicante's gonna take second, Waterton third, Koo. Yeah, there comes everybody. All right.
We'll move by Alicante's. That makes 5th and 7th are gonna be 5th and 7th starting the race are gonna be 1st and 2nd on the restart, just like that.
All right, let's see if we can figure out what happens.
Ooh.
Okay, this is a bit. This started all the way back in turn 4. It's the 8 and the 10 and the 31. Okay, that's what it is. Barrino kind of bounces off Abby Little. And Tosima got in it too. Ooh, Barrino took a pretty...
in the wall.
Barrino took a pretty solid hit there. Tosima kind of got in the wall there as well.
Boy, Schliesenbach had to brake real hard there too to not get caught in it. I think that's a few playoff drivers with damage because Happeman got.
Yeah, and Little's still on pit road. Little's still on pit road.
Problems, and yeah, Abby Little's gonna be in pit road and down a couple of laps. She's only 4 points going into the cut.
Yeah, she's gonna need to. So. Well, she'll at least probably be able to keep it 1 down. Oh no, I think she's still in the lead lap actually. I thought she was a lap down, but I guess not. Yeah, looks like she stayed on the lead lap. It actually does look like the 71 stayed on the lead lap. Okay, well, good news for Abby Little fans.
Around the nation.
It displayed that she was a lap down, so I don't know why. I don't know how she got that lap back.
We trust our stewards here, of course, to do what needs to be done in terms of that, so.
20 car of Abriella's back on pit road. And again, that's our winner from last week back in Talladega, so. Trouble already besetting a driver who has a win not that long ago. Well, literally a week ago.
Come on.
Now you're going to see them stack up on the restarts. This is just something that happens at Martinsville. They'll stack up like, they just stack up like this under caution. It just happens.
You gotta be careful though. All I gotta say about that.
No wave arounds on this restart. Ellie, do you got any updates on what happened to Abriella's? We'll go back green.
Yeah, I've got some info on the 20 car of Abriella, and it looks like she's having some kind of brake issue. Her brakes might be sticky or whatever, so they were just trying to assess what the exact problem is with her brakes, but that's what she ended up having problems with.
This is not the kind of place you want to have brake trouble.
Absolutely not. That's gonna keep her for an extended stay. She's gonna have to fight to
55.
Probably stay.
55 got a restart penalty. Bria DeLade. Looks like the 8 and the 71 also got it. So now Little may actually end up a lap down. Jukovic hanging on to the lead so far. Alicantes is second. Youngwei Koo has made her way up to third. Tristina fourth. Waterton is fifth. Wandayo 6th, Handstrom 7th, Cole 8th, Yatica 9th, and Lily Talberson in the 39 car is 10th. Now, the two cars who came in 15 points and 19 points back respectively, as Talberson is now in 10th, and Jukovic is in the lead. Jukovic is leading the race. Bria DeLade just got out of pit road, right in front of the 62.
You gotta think this is what might stress Abby Little out more about the restart violation. Maybe this is why she jumped. Maybe this is why she ended up with that restart violation, jumping the start, just to try and catch up to the fact that two cars that are currently fighting for her spot in the playoffs are up at the front, but now she's going to have an even larger, really a bigger fight here to get there, as we are seeing cars being put on the outside. There's the 99. Richard Vebelt was put on the outside there by, I think that's Amori Wesco.
That's Wesco.
Yes.
Well, Vebelst has been kind of stuck on the outside for a little bit here, so...
She needs to get to the inside as soon as possible, because
she's got to drop down.
Lose. She has like no points she can lose here, but she could pull down. This seems like... I'll have to check back in on her. I think running the high line is not the best. I mean, it could be a very good option in terms of the strategy, but I don't think that's much of a helpful strategy if other cars are going to get under you and just take your position.
You can't really run the bottom lane here. The bottom lane just does not grip as much as the top... or you can't really run the top lane here, excuse me. It just doesn't grip as much as the top lane does. You can maybe run the high lane if you're defending a little bit, but you can't run it if you're like... If there's a car to the inside of you, the high lane, you just run out. It just runs out of grip.
Well, she got some help, and admittedly, she got it from Eva Jarceraj, just not being able to make a move and allowing Cindy Rairston to get up, so the 99 might have still a chance. We'll have to see. Yeah, Dalad's pulling away from Yukovic, so I think everything's starting to even out here.
And again, we'll see them go single file for a fair bit of time, at least, during this race. There's Marisha Vebelst and Lily Talberson. These two are teammates. This is 16th spot. Talberson had looked like she might have had a car that could run in the top 10, but she kind of got shuffled to the outside, and now pretty much everybody's kind of single filed out for the moment. It's a very cool night here in Martinsville. We were delayed getting the race started because there was a lot of weather in the area. They had to dry the track, so it's pretty late at night here to start this race. But hopefully we will be able to get this race finished.
No, wet October is not a surprise here around Virginia. Ruined many Halloween when I was a kid.
Sounds like you have some unresolved trauma from that too.
Yeah, I love Halloween, man.
Don't we all? Hey, how about Taylor Happerman running in 10th?
Yeah, Happerman made her way back up. I guess the getting tagged in the accident didn't hurt her much, although she did have to defend John McJasmine. I don't know about
There's
10 in
fourth
terms
place.
of points, but then again, Little's back, Vebelst is behind her. I think actually in terms of points, she does catch Vebelst and Little, maybe even Nihale as well.
Waterton's gotten moved out of the way because here comes Amani Wandayo. She's taken the 4th position away from Waterton. Waterton could lose another spot if she keeps running the high lane, if Handstrom's able to get under to the inside of the 13. Yappy Malikson started pretty well towards the back of the field. She's actually moved up to 14th now. And these two cars. That's Vebelst and Talberson right there. And again, it's early in the race. I think a lot of these drivers are kind of thinking, let's not chance things here. I think some of these drivers that just kind of got unlucky with that restart penalty, like Abby Little, they're just trying to make their way back up here. The 62's now kind of getting into some lap traffic here, and that could also affect things. There's the 3, the 10. Those two cars were already a lap down. They're actually going to start falling. They're going to fall 2 laps down here pretty soon. Well, they've already fallen 2 laps down, actually. Amani Wandayo is now closed up on Chestina. And this, last week, at least, would have been a battle of Latin America drivers. But Chestina is from Czechia, so...
BOB. One driver I do want to watch out, you pointed out, Perry Alicante is up to 2nd. That's important to me because, again, Perry can run this race sort of how she wants where she is right now. Again, 37 points up, in no danger in 2nd place of getting knocked out. It's the... Oh my goodness gracious, we saw that. That's the teammates too, 13 and the 3 side by side.
13 got a bit loose there, I think, coming off the corner. Barrino's kind of got some damage there.
I kind of got some damage there. the hood is gone.
Well, look, I'm being nice, okay? There's Happman battling Tolaron. Again, I'd also like to point out there's Arena Tosima. This car is not this car doesn't look terrible in terms of speed. I mean, it doesn't look great in terms of how it's in terms of, you know, cosmetically how it looks, but she's about to get herself into the top 20 if she can once she completes this move on the 32. Yeah, you'll see how this 93 looks when they get to this shot right here, which is, there is no rear bumper. So, there is no more Pennzoil advertising for people looking at the rear of the car.
My question, again, is someone who doesn't usually drive is just in terms of how much does that affect a rear bumper if someone does attempt to bump and run? If someone's got a rear bumper, like...
Well, if you don't have a bumper, it's kind of hard to bump and run, because it just kind of absorbs everything. Everything just kind of gets pushed in, and you don't really, like, go anywhere.
No.
So does it affect it? Not really.
Yeah, I mean, look, she's getting under the 9 here.
Yeah, that 93 actually looks fairly okay. She looks pretty fast, right now at least.
Just every point's important for Tosima.
Yeah, she only came in... How many points did she come in? I think it was like 6 or 8. It was 8. So, you know, not in a horrible spot, but she's in a spot where she still needs to make up ground. It's kind of split up around the front of the field. You see, there's Yappy Malikson trying to hold off Taylor Happeman. Marisha Vebels got around her teammate in Lily Talberson. But again, one of the drivers, I mean, Jukovic is about as close to a must-win as we've really seen throughout these playoffs because she came in 19 points back. She's had a pretty mediocre run of things this round compared to last round where she won her way through at Kansas. But 38th and 30th place finishes are not good for the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, especially for the first 2 races of a playoff round, especially, you know, we're in the second round. This is where, you know, this is kind of the key round here. Here comes Tosima. She is on the move, actually. She's up to 14th now. This 93 car is clearly fast. She's making some moves.
This is the point where I start looking at people's past races to see if this is, well, I mean, a 6th place at Bristol, won the mile race at Phoenix, although there's a lot, this racetrack is a lot different from Phoenix. 5th at North Wilkesboro. This doesn't come as too much of a surprise, I'd say.
Yeah.
In terms of driving ability, it's just interesting to know, like, maybe that's going to be a concern, is that people aren't going to want to let her up to the front, because again, if it comes down to needing a bump and run to beat her, you're not going to really be able to have that type of effect. You're going to have to race her clean. So, we'll see if anyone else tries to force rear end damage. Can't imagine a brake check would help you much, but...
Well, she goes for the spot again here on Tolaron. This is another thing. Jukovic is going to start to close into lap traffic here. Bria Delad's actually driven well away from the 62 right now. The 55 is scored on the lead lap still. The 71 of Abby Little right now is the first car off the lead lap. But now for these cars that are in the tail end of the field, this is where I'd start to be a little worried. I'd start to worry that about cars, I'd start to, a lot of the time in the back of the field, the cars start getting antsy, they start getting aggressive with each other. They kind of will get into each other and spin each other out, trying to not get lapped. And that's something that Jukovic is going to have to be very careful navigating. But right now, the 62 looks like a strong car early on. But we're kind of seeing the same thing that we saw in the Continental race yesterday. Clean air matters a lot.
I would hope it does. I would really hope they hadn't patched that yet. Ooh, the 52 was high up the wall.
52 got into the wall there. And that's going to let Happelman take a shot to the inside. It may let a lot of cars take a shot to the inside because there goes Tosima.
Rachel, this might have been a five-point mistake here. Unless she can sneak it underneath the 22. 22's going to fight. Yeah, she's going to sneak back in line.
She's going to get back in line, but will she be able to hold line? Or will the 22 try and force her back out of it?
Yeah, oh boy, Stoneman.
More lap. Yeah, there's the lap traffic.
Well, me, Marino. Got a season.
Brino's been good on the short tracks this season, but this race is not going to be one of those good races for her. Because she's,
And, yeah.
well off the pace, but that's more just because of that damage that she's got. And again, that MBYW team switching manufacturers next season. They're actually moving to the Honda camp next year.
The wars continue.
Ooh, the
Oh,
21 got a little high. Trying to get around her teammate.
Oh, hold on. Okay, I thought that was going to be a crossover, then I remembered it was just the 10 car. And you can recover against the 10 car. Right now, the 10 car's not as hooked up as the other ones.
We may have a battle
this
for...
might be a-
There's a 6th place. That's Michele Iottica. Trying to take that from Arlen Handstrom.
You're probably going to use Stone when there's a pick. As Bria Delot is still trying to escape Halo Zukovic. And
Yeah, well, Delot has caught the tail of the field now. Which, ironically, these are spots that Delot is actually battling for position back here.
yeah,
There's
pick.
the 6 making the move on the 19 now. AWSCO trying to make up ground. Now, AWSCO had a really good run at North Wilkesboro. She gave Marisha a bit of the bumper there. I don't know if I want to give Marisha Vebels the bumper, but...
I mean, that is just the biggest gamble you could take in your life. She's for a driver sitting on the points bubble who's probably going to need to be aggressive later. I don't know, poking the bear is definitely not something I would recommend doing at the paperclip, but
Yeah.
especially a bear who hits back just as hard as Marisha Vebels will, likely, or might have to if she ends up backed into a corner, so...
Yeah,
we'll
kind of.
for AWSCO in the future.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We entered this weekend with both of the drivers known for high aggression. Both of the drivers that are known for high aggression in their respective series were both in very precarious positions going into this race. Because LaTanya Gray came in about 10 points behind. She was actually within that cup battle for quite a while. She only missed the second round by 1 point last night in the Continental race. And then one of these drivers in the Cup Series field, Marisha Vebelst. Oh, caution. Caution is out.
Oh boy, who spawned?
Whoa.
Oh my!
And that has stacked the leaders up. Oh dear, Chistina.
Oh, Chistina, that's... Oh,
And
that's
Wandayo.
21 of Wandayo. Who else is not moving there? Handstrom. Who's moving?
Wandayo is stuck.
Yatica. Oh, it's just a car crash.
Well,
Thankfully, no playoff drivers. Oh, except Marisha's at the back of it there.
99's at the
I don't
back
think
of
she
that.
took damage. I think she
There
took
we go.
damage.
Bunch of those cars, they finally despawned, so. The 18 took the lead from that. if I can find where the 18 is. There she is, but she's got some pretty solid front-end damage.
Okay.
And I guess apparently she's
you
not
just
very
beached
happy about the front-end
You may
damage.
have just beached yourself. So is
The
Marisha
99's
Beach.
beached.
Oh, boy. Good luck to the stewards figuring this one out.
I didn't even know who the leader is. I don't know what.
We'll find out. We'll find out when scoring gets back to us. Good God. That was the most Thomas the Tank Engine crash I have ever seen.
So that knocks out Yanaga, Edelstein is out, and Jetta is out. Chistina's done.
Christina.
I don't know who the free pass car is, but 18 is done. The 18 led back to the line. I think it's the 64 that will be the free pass car.
Oh, and well, that's why.
Yes, it will be the 64 that is the free pass car. All right. So who comes out of pit road with the lead? It is the 13 of Waterton. So the pole sitter who didn't lead a lap off the pole. Oh no, I lied. Apparently it's the 6.
I mean,
Oh, I think the 6 and 19 might have stayed out an extra lap. Well, that was a bit confusing. But
stay with us here for a second, friends.
we're gonna have to see how this all broke out.
Ooh. A starts with everyone.
I think it started with the 16. Oh, that car blew up.
Oh, explodes.
And it just stacked up everybody. Just blocked the whole track. Oh, there's where Yanaga got her damage. And the leaders kind of just pull into it. There was nothing there was nowhere they could really go. That's what happened to Chistina when Dio got some big damage.
And then we get the two playoff drivers, Vebelst and Alicantes, eventually getting beached in the aftermath, just trying to get around everyone.
52 just blew up, and
and
she was the
Rachel
leader of the
explodes.
race.
Okay.
What are they doing? Why?
Gabriella, cheat yourself.
Why?
More front end damage. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna have another lap of yellow here. Okay, 13, 91, 22, 62. 39, 9, 32, 96, 6, and 19. Okay, a bit of a confusing situation under yellow, but we will be going back green this time. All right. It is Waterton who will lead them back to the green. Alicia Byrne, Andrea Davison, Halis Jukovic, Lily Talberson. Green flag, and Byrne with a great jump. But the question is, did she beat the 13 to the line? Because if she did, that's a penalty.
Find down the lap.
Ellie?
I've got info on the 52 of Rachel Cole, and it looks like the camshaft ended up breaking, and it just caused the valve train to just go on that car, so immediately caused that to be inoperative.
Very unfortunate for Cole. Well, we've had another yellow flag as Abby Little has just gone around. Looks like Davison got penalized. '72 is the free pass car. All right. Well, we've gone yellow flag again. I believe it was the 71 of Abby Little. Oh, she just gets into the wall with the 38 of Youngwei Koo.
Half by half and half by one diode.
Kind of blocked the track there, but...
Yeah. Would you say that was a squeeze there by Little, or was Youngwei Koo just like...
I think it was kind of a squeeze by Little, yeah. I would say so.
If you had told me that the driver starting outside row 5 would be leading the race after 65 laps, I would have called you crazy.
Oh, it's
As it turns
happening.
out,
Well,
this races matter than that. Goodness gracious.
there's 19 cars in the lead lap. A bunch of cars kind of got sent off the lead lap on the under that second yellow. That was a bit of a odd situation there, but so they're doing more work. They're doing more work on Tosima's car.
I need a couple more points, I think, to survive. Who's out of the playoff drivers?
Playoff drivers that are out of the race. Yanaga is done.
Ooh.
Alacantes is done. And that's it for the playoff drivers.
Alright. That might be the end of Yanaga's season, but a 13-point gap is still...
It's manageable. Ellie?
Yeah, it's still got a chance.
I got word on what Tosima ended up having to come down for. A tire went down on her car. Just needed a quick tire swap.
Most of the front cars are lead lap cars right now, so Only one car got waved around, and that was the 3 of Mimi Verena, who will take a lap back. She'll be 2 laps down now. So Byrne, Waterton, Rariston, McJasmina, Rugatino, the top 5. Green flag. And Waterton gonna go right back on Byrne and do what Byrne did to Waterton. And Waterton has taken the lead right back. And the 31 is down pit road. That's a lot of cars that have gotten penalties. Yanni Waterton's gotten snookered twice on the restarts via that. She wasn't going to let it happen again. So she did it herself this time.
Let's be careful, though, because they're either going to get a lot of help from lap cars, or she's going to get... No, she's going to get by, and the lap cars are just going to shuffle in with the rest of everyone else.
The lap cars look like they're going to shuffle in with everybody else. A 21, I'm pretty sure, is pit looping. So she may be told to park it. Waterton leads the way. Byrne, Rariston, McJasmine, Rugatino. The top 5 after the restart. Nietzsche Garnston, the 27 car, is the first car off the lead lap right now. Marisha Vebels, who's moved up to 8th position. Jocelyn Nihil is 9th. Andrea Davison running 10th. '21's on pit road again. Yeah, that car is going to be done. Meanwhile, the 62 has been pushing through the field. She's back in 5th, but she's making the move on McJasmina for 4th right now. And she'll take that spot away. And Halis Jukovic is doing everything she possibly can to get back up into that playoff fight. Now, for those drivers that came into this race below the cut line, Bria Delade in the 55 car right now is scored in 25th, 2 laps down. Mika Harina is 26th, 2 laps down. Taylor Happeman is 24th, 1 lap down. Lily Talverson is in, let me see if I can find the 39. There's the 39. She's in 12th. And Halis Jukovic is now 4th.
And Jukovic has the best chance of moving up, has the car that's willing to.
Yeah, that 62 has clearly had the fast car.
The question is if Happeman has too much damage that's going to cost her, because her car was pretty fast in the opening stages, but it's been messed with over the past couple of laps. I think that could be just how this, I guess, season unfortunately ends for her.
The interesting note here as well is that Vebelst is 8th. So right now the driver that I'd be most worried about cutline-wise is the 71 of Abby Little, but she's still 16th. Jocelyn Nihil, who's only 6 points up, is 9th. Irina Tosma's in the worst spot. She's 30th, 4 laps down now. And the 23 of Yapi Malikson has just come down pit road.
I think Jens Young was last.
Yes, the 46 is in fact last.
Hypothetical, so... I mean, I think that by itself, 13, 19, 31 points, I think that puts Jukovic ahead of Janaga right now for the time being. Just barely, but...
Yeah.
It might push, that's going to push, with the very least, Yanniga probably out of it. Unless
Yeah, it
the
could
other
be.
five
It may
manage to
very
keep
well
it.
be over for Yenfi Yanniga.
Game, but then again, like Southwest, kind of how Southwest's playoff chances end would be finishing dead last in the elimination race. This feels right.
Ellie, what do you got on the 23?
Yeah, it looks like what ended up just taking her out of the race right now. They made that call. It looks like it was the ignition on that car.
Well, that's really unfortunate, especially for Yappy Malikson. Again, 20 points up on the cut line. Not in a horrific spot, but that is not something she needed. She's going to end up being scored 30th. The 62 has been slowly closing on the... Actually, everybody behind the 13 has been closing on the 13 for a good bit here. Again, there's lots of time to make up time in this race. There's the 91 of Alicia Byrne. Racing, she's trying to get past the 10. 72, Jenna Parkins, who's 13th. She was the last car on the lead lap. She's now going to drop down to being the first car off the lead lap. It was the 62 of Yukovic got real loose there. Right now, the 91, I'd say, is the car that looks a little slow. Because she's kind of started to back up towards the 32 and the 62. There's the 55, Bria Delade. Again, 24th right now. 2 laps down. It's an interesting scenario here. There's Lily Talberson sitting 12th. Marisha Vebelst in 7th right now. He's actually managed to gain a spot on the 22 of Andrea Davison. It's the 91 getting by some of the lap cars. Now, the 93 doesn't really look tremendously off pace is the thing. She doesn't look super slow. But also at this point, you're kind of trying to be one of those, if you're one of these cars back here, you're just kind of trying to keep with the leader and just try and run a race, because we're all just about 100 laps in. We've already had quite a bit of chaos, so... Arlen Hanstrom back here running 6th. Marisha Vebelst 7th. Not really much battling going on in terms of the lead lap cars. We may see a fight actually between some of the lap down cars. Carly Bird and Abby Little will have 15th at stake fairly soon if the 71 can get up to the 9. And a lot of these cars that are off pace could jam up the leaders a fair bit, so... 17 just shoved the 98 out of the way. That was for position, actually. That's for that was for 22nd.
Every little point counts. Attempts to lives at where people are at right now. You just gotta watch for who's using their car to their advantage and who's just getting aggressive, because again, you have 400 laps to work with, but you never know when things could start to get problematic.
Yeah. 62 is going to make the move for third here on her teammate Rariston. I wouldn't expect that to be fought over too much, and Jukovic has the third position now. See if she's maybe able to make a move on Alicia Byrne here for second fairly soon. So I think this 62 has much more than the 32 did for the 91. Now remember, Jukovic won back at Richmond. Another short track. That short track running experience can really help her. Jukovic also a pretty solid road racer. This track is probably the closest oval we have to a road course. Considering, you know, there's a lot of high braking and very tight corners here.
Oh, simple math done here that I've managed. Yenfianaga finishing last. I don't think she'll let a lap. She's going to probably finish up with about 49 points. We're going to get the 3,000 out of there because it's unnecessary. Haley Zukovic, currently sitting right now in third, would be 8 points ahead of Yenfianaga.
Somebody's blowing up.
At the very least, as AWSCO. See, they're blown up. So I don't know if this pushes Haley Zukovic into a spot. I think, let's see, with Marisha sitting, where's that? That's 7th right now. That's going to be pretty good points haul.
If you need all of the points positions, I can get you them.
No, I'll try it at this point. I think Yenfi 49, that's done. I'm going to slowly work my way through it, but as of right now, Marisha Vebelts should be very well in it right now. I don't think there's not much of a cut line there. 64, I think, is in a good spot. Perry Alicantes is out too. I believe we talked about this.
Oh, really?
Was she the other? I think we had.
Oh, yes. Alicantes is she's out. She's 34th. That's where she'll end up being scored 34th.
78. So yeah, Perry Alicantes is still ahead of Vebelts right now. So I think she's fine.
I think Alicantes is fine because again, she entered with about a 27-point gap, or she entered with a 37-point gap, excuse me, to the cut line. So Alicantes was pretty well safe.
Yep. 19 are up here. Baby's fine. Jammy's out. 19 is not in the race. 64. Okay, I can do Nighthale. Was it Nighthale sitting at?
Nighthale's 10th.
10th. So that's one that puts her at 72. So Nighthale's ahead of Vebel's live right now, but the 99 is going to get another.
Oh, the 99 has actually gained 2 spots. The 99 just picked up 6th actually, and she's now picking up 5th.
Oh, Vebel's is locking herself in no matter what. She's fighting with everything she has. How's Eva Jarsaraj doing?
Jarsaraj right now, the 98 car is 23rd.
Laps down.
She's 2 down, but she's in the race.
She's in the race. That puts her at 80 right now live, so she'll be all right. So she's.
I think where I'd be worried a little bit is the 71 Abby Little. She's 15th at the moment.
26 points for Little. That's gonna put. Yeah, that's not gonna.
Are blowing up in the apron. That's the 31 of Taylor Happerman.
Oh, that's gonna cost her probably.
That'll probably take her out of the playoffs. Yania Waterton leading. It doesn't really matter what happens there. Because if she wins, she's just in. Maria Delade right now is scored 20th.
Yania were to drop, she'd still be, I think, in a better points position than Eva Jarsaraj would be. So
I think so, yes.
So she's pretty locked in, I'd say. Just not assuming an unfortunate explosion. Yappy Malikson has been quiet today.
Well, she's out of the race now. She's dropped
Wow.
out. She scored 30th. That's gonna be her final standing. Meanwhile, here comes Jukovic looking for second on Alicia Byrne. She may go for it here. We'll see. She thought about it.
All right, next up, looking at Arenia Tosima.
She is 27th at the moment, but she's going to move up to 26th with the 31 dropping out with her issues.
So of the drivers, that puts Arenia, oh boy. Arenia's at 57 right now. Jukovic is still in third.
Jukovic is still third.
If Jukovic gets this spot, Arenia Tosima and Haley Jukovic are tied. Assuming neither of them have led a lap, and
The 62 has led a lap, so
okay. Factor that in. So yeah, Haley's is right. Jukovic and
Tosima are tied right now.
Tosima are tied right now. If Jukovic can get this spot, she'll jump ahead of her.
Ellie?
I've got word on Happeman and what happened to her, and it looks like she is officially out, and the damage ended up being a problem with her clutch, which is unfortunate for her.
Yeah, that really sucks for Happeman. But it is worth the note that Ozark Motorsports, that team has definitely improved. Because,
Now we're getting sort of to the people who are out right now. So Happeman is still in the race, or did the...
No, she's dropped out. She's done. She's going to end up 28th here.
Yeah, that's gonna kill it for her. Where's Bria Delade? We see her there on the screen.
She's 20th.
Okay, that puts her. That's just a sort of a fight there in the cut line. Bria, Jukovic, and Osama
Yeah.
are in a war. Harina is sort of behind. I think, is Harina behind her? I just saw the
Harina is
flash.
behind, I believe. Where is the 34? There's the 34. She's 22nd.
Okay, that gets her. Yeah, she's just off the pace of those, and then that leaves Lily Talberson. She was doing.
Talberson is in 12th place right now, so
Okay.
I don't believe that would put her in.
No, it wouldn't. So yeah, so stats right now: the driver's out. Taylor Happeman is out. Yenfi Yanaga is out. Talberson is out. Harina is out. Delade is out. Kosama and Jukovic are barely in. Little is in, but by about 7 points.
So it's pretty much between the 55 and the 93, I would say.
55, 93, 60. If the 62 ends up losing some spots to a faster car, Harina and Lily still have a chance, but they're going to need to pick up a couple more spots. And Little is just barely safe for the moment.
Yeah.
Malikson is also just kind of safe, but if enough drivers gain points, I mean, if Bria Delade makes it up to top 10, I think
that could mess things. That could mess with things.
That could definitely screw things. I think Lily Talberson can't catch. So Lily Talberson can't catch Yappy.
Here comes Jukovic
right
looking
now.
for second. Is she going to be able to make the move? No.
Yeah. I think if Little stares where she is, she's going to be one of the last names in, and it's going to be a fight between those three.
Jukovic has been pressuring this 91 for a while. It's looked like
Yeah.
she's gotten pretty well to the inside of that 91, but the 91's been able to fight on the outside, but I don't think she'll be able to do it now. Here comes Halis Jukovic for second. And she's going to have the spot.
Yeah.
And that is a crucial point for the 62.
Okay, running the math right now. Yappy and Little are not safe, but They would need, but to not be safe anymore, they would need Bria or Mika Harina to be in the top 10 or better.
Yeah.
So.
Now, the 55
yeah,
definitely looks like she has pace. The problem is she's off the lead lap at the moment. Vebels has dropped back to 7th, so she's dropped behind a couple cars now, back to where she was.
Seventh doesn't lose her that many points, though. I think
Yeah.
Seventh only loses her about 1 more point, which...
Now, Tosima's recovered a lap from the 13. So Tosima's now 4 laps down. And this 93 is not... I don't think the 93 is particularly slow. Actually, funny enough, she's closing in on the 3. That would be for position. If the 93 gets past the 3, that is a battle for position.
That'd be a significant point.
That would be a point that goes to the 93 here. The 62 is closing quickly. It was about 4 seconds a couple laps ago. She's whittled the gap down to 2.8 seconds, and it's now 2.7. The 22, Andrea Davison, has just taken 3rd away from Byrne. Ooh, got on the wall a little bit, though. And Tosima did get past Barino, so the 93 is now in 25th. That gains her a point. That's pretty important. That is actually, that's very important. And now as well, one thing as well, the 55 is closing in on the 72. That is also for position.
So, to confirm, Tosima is now up to...
25th.
So that gives Tosima is now up with 16. That puts Tosima... Ooh, I miscalculated. So Tosima's at 59 points. Haley Yukovic is 2nd, which means 39 plus 1 is 40. That's actually Arenia up by 1 point right now in Yukovic. Yukovic
Is
has
that the
40,
cut line?
On the cut, I believe it is, unless Bria... Yeah, Bria Delata hasn't changed. Bria and Mika, as long as Bria Delata is not made up 2 spots and Mika Harina has not made up 5. Yeah, Haley's Yukovic is last out. Arena Tosima is first in. Or sorry, last in, first out. I apologize.
Yukovic is up into 2nd now. She's trying to close up on the 1. Again, Yukovic is trying to close up on Waterton as well. Now, leading the race, it doesn't matter, because winning the race will gain you, well, it locks you in automatically. Lily Talberson has moved up to 10th. She's gained a spot there, but she's pretty looks like she's pretty close to being lapped. Now, Valicia Vancy is currently 4 laps down. If the one car continues to run slowly and the 93 is able to catch and pass her, that would be another point to Tosima. So let me confirm, who are the 5 out right now? It's Delad, Yukovic, Harina, Talberson, Happeman?
Yeah, I'm gonna reverse order. Yeah, Yanaga and Happeman are out. Lily Talberson is out. She's at 53. Mika is out. She's at 54. Oh wait, no, Bria's out. She's at 56. So Haley's is technically last.
Oh, yes, Yukovic is last in. Delad is first
second.
out.
Yeah. Yes. That's assuming Delad is still at 21.
Yeah.
21 points, which would mean she would be in 20th.
Well, actually, she's gained up to 19th, so Delad hasn't gained a point there. She just passed Parkings. Right now, it's we're kind of in a bit of a lull in the race. Vebelst has gone up to 5th. She just passed. She passed a couple cars there. I think she passed both. She passed Rariston and Hanstrom and Rugatino.
She's running it. She's gonna be well clear.
Oh boy, 62 is closed up.
Oh, she's gonna run wide.
It's
here,
less
though.
than a second between the 13 and the 62, but she ran real wide. And that may let the 22 get second. Andrea Davison, who's racing, well, pretty much just for fun. It doesn't matter what happens to Davison.
It's gonna lose nearly a point there.
Yeah, that's
Gonna
gonna
put
drop her
down
to third.
Yeah, 57. She's gonna be tied with Bria.
That's tied. Now the tiebreak goes to whoever has the better finish. And I believe that the 62 would have that tiebreak based on being third here. The next car for Delod would be the 15, who's right here. Angeli Rugatino in the 96 running 8th. There's Arlen Hanstrom running 7th. You got the two sisters, the Burns, right here. That's not for position. Oh, 15 car, slow. And the 91's going to run into her. 15 is stopped. That may be a caution. That's going to be a caution. There is the yellow. And that just gained a place for the 55 as well. Well, the caution flag is out. Tabrizia Toleron with some kind of problem stopped on the racetrack and got spun around by the 91 of Alicia Byrne. All the lead lap cars now on pit road. Waterton's going to win the race out. Davison, Jukovic, Vebelst will go up to 4th. Handstrom.
Oh.
All right, Ellie, what do you got for information about Toleron here?
It looks like a tire went down on her in the middle of the track, which is what ended up, making her kind of spin like that, which is what caused that whole incident there. Very unfortunate of a spot to get in that.
That is very unfortunate. Carly Byrne in the 9 car got the free pass. She is the free pass car. So she's jumped back onto the lead lap here. See if we can look and see as to what happens with the 15. So back here, she's racing. There's the 93 behind her. Oh, I think that's where it went wrong right there. She slowed up very suddenly. And Alicia Byrne nowhere to go. Rugatino got run into by the 98. Not much that could be done there. So the 55 has actually gained a position out of that. She's moved up to 18th.
That puts her in.
Yeah, that puts her in on Jukovic. No wave arounds on this restart. And yeah, it's the top 4 are all playoff drivers right now. Yania Waterton leading the way here at Martinsville. She won the pole. She's led since our most recent restart, but we're going to have another restart here, and it's going to be... Oh, there's going to be some very interesting things that go on here. You got Marisha Vebelst in the 99 car, who has a penchant for just not caring about anything.
That'd be so ironic if Haley Zukovic did all of this and then gets wrecked out on a restart. with all people.
Green flag. We are back to racing in Martinsville. And here comes Davison to the inside on Waterton. And that wasn't a restart, Snooker. That was just a great move by Davison. And the 22 car is going to get out front. And Andrea Davison showing she may have that win, but she's still going to race like she's racing to get into the final round.
Quality laps. Finally getting it. Ruined. Problems there for Vebels.
Vebels kind of got shuffled there. Car on pit road, the 8 car. That's the 8 of Schliesenbach. That is going to be another point for Delade. Well, assuming the 55 gets by the 8, which they're actually right next to each other here.
Ooh, wait, yeah.
This is the 2 laps down battle. I believe there was one other car that received a penalty. Oh, the 71 with trouble.
Oh, no.
Abby Little. And that could throw all kinds of shuffles into the playoff order now. Jukovic has dropped back. She's dropped back to, I believe that's 4th now. I think McJasmine also had a restart penalty, and that's why she's back here. Looks like the 71's going, but man, that is not good. She's going to be back out in 21st spot.
First 20 points. You can confirm Abby Little in 21st.
Yes.
Scoring update.
Let me check real quick.
Puts
Yes.
her 59 points, which means she's tied with Cosimo.
Oh wow.
Her last check on Cosimo. So she lost a lot. She lost all of her cushion. She's gonna be fighting now. Where is Cosimo, by the way?
25th still.
Okay. Yeah. So nothing's changed with her.
There's Lily Talberson making a move for 7th on Alicia Byrne. Now Jukovic is in 4th. And I think, Delade is in at the moment because she's jumped Jukovic. Andrea Davison, though. It's been something to see how she's run. Again, Davison has not finished outside of the top 20 since Rio de Janeiro. That was race 22 of the season. We're in race 36. She has right now she has a 13 race top 20 streak, and she's leading the way again here in Martinsville.
You know, the scariest drivers and the ones that end up winning championships, they ain't the ones who run best all season, but the ones that run the best when it counts.
Yeah.
Every win Davison gets, especially now, I think that's a couple more points to the playoff.
Yep, that gains her an additional bonus point that would gain her an additional bonus point in the next round as well, which could prove crucial because we have seen playoff spots decided by 1 or even 0 points. But if this 22 keeps going like this, I feel like she has to be considered a favorite. 6th place, the 99. Marisha Vebels looking like she's going to have exactly the kind of day she needs to have. Granted, we aren't even halfway through this thing, so a lot can change there. Bria Delade is actually now up to 16th. She just passed Lowry Schliesenbach. Jocelyn Nihil in the 64 car is running 9th at the moment, so this is exactly the kind of run she needs. Now, Abby Little still 21st, and this car, well, it's running. How well it's running is to be determined.
Jukovic down to 38 points. I think the live update now has Bria at 60, Yukovic at 56, Little and Arena still at 59. Harina, nothing's changed with Mika, I don't believe.
Whoa, the 62 went real wide there.
Ooh.
We may see a battle for second. Here comes Cinlia Rariston in the 32 car. And Cinlia Rariston, ever since she got eliminated from the playoffs, has turned the Jets up. She has been fast every week. She led the most laps the last 2 races. Most laps led at Oregon and at Talladega.
How's Mika Harina been doing?
Harina is currently 18th at the moment.
That gives her a couple more points. That actually might put her right in it. It does. Oh boy. We've got Bria, if my calculations are right, Bria's at 60 points, Tosima and Little at 59, Arena's at 58, and Yukovic is at 56.
That is very close. It's what, 4 points between, what positions are those? That's
Yeah, let me do the count. Hold on. Oh, this is closer than I thought. This is gonna take a while.
Waterton in second right now. Again, this is also the kind of run she needs if she's going to make it to the third round. This is, while Lily Toberson is running well, she's just not getting the run. She's just not getting what she needs points-wise to stay up there with everybody else at the moment. There's Yukovic sitting in fourth. And again, this is kind of they're just kind of trying to keep things calm at the moment, I believe. Just trying not to make it too disastrous.
Where is Lily Talberson at? As
Seventh.
last check?
She is 7th at the moment.
That puts her up to about 34 points. Yeesh. So that puts us right now at the gap between 8th place and 13th place in the standings is 4 points. You have Ria with 60 points in 8th. You have Little and Tosima with 59, 9th and 10th. You have Mika Harina in 11th and out with 58, and you have Haley's and Lily with 56 and 12th and 13th.
Wow. It's real close here.
It is razor thin margin.
So it's about 3 points from the 39 back to those 3. Now, keep in mind, the tiebreak goes to the better finish. Tosima has the tiebreak over Little if it comes there. And Tosima's actually moved up to 23rd now. So she's gained 2 spots since we did the last points check for her. She's passed Vancy and Ajar Siraj.
That puts her at 61, so she's clearer now.
So it's what? Little is clear of Harina by, I think, 1 point.
Yes. If my math is correct, she's clear by a point.
And the next car to Harina is the 8. The next car to Tosima is the 15, but the 15 is right now 4 laps down. So she'd have to make up an extra lap on the 15 as well. Ooh, the 39 just got the wall.
39 just ate the wall. That's not going to help Lily.
Nope.
How many people is that going to lose her points? I don't think that's any.
It's just going to be 1 spot.
Okay.
Davison has pulled away, though. There's Abby Little in the 71. And you're going to kind of see... Yeah, she's very much... We believe she's lost a cylinder. And this track is not a spot... This is not a place where you want to lose a cylinder because 39's on pit road.
Then she might have damaged a tire or something.
She might have
going
hit
into a
something.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna drop. That's gonna be a real big problem for her.
Yeah, that's not good. Trying to get everything out of it, but we're not even halfway. I don't think you don't need to get everything out of it right now. Oh, and by the way, the 71's still faster than the 98, despite being down a cylinder.
98's not doing much, but just trying to finish, I think.
The 98 and the 23 are pretty well still to the good, at least right now, right?
Yeah, because Eva, last check, Ajarsa Raj was at 80 points. And who's the other car you're talking about?
The 23, Malikson.
Yappy, yeah, 66 points. Yappy.
Okay,
might
that's
start to
that's
be-
pretty clear.
Yeah, Yappy is starting to get, but the thing with Yappy is that she has the help of, Bria and Mika would have to be basically top 10 better to get in, and neither of them are up there yet.
Yeah, everybody's. It would have to be a lot of cars that would have to jump the 23.
Yeah, so Yappy's going to be close, but she's not.
Yappy's not in danger, I don't think. Where is the 18?
Perry Alicantes. She came into Perry came in with 72 points, so 6.
Okay, she's
to
already
78.
good. All right.
She's out, but she's fine. Yappy's
she's
pretty
perfectly
close.
fine. I think she may honestly have clinched. I don't think she can lose that amount of points. I don't think she can lose that amount of points.
I think. Let's see, Perry. I mean, she would need. I mean, at this point, she'd need like Bria to get 33 points. I think. Yeah, with Taylor being out, I think she would need Bria to be 33 points. Mika to. Yeah. Mika. No, actually 40. No, I think she has clinched because Bria and Mika are not within 40 points of her originally, so they can't. Neither of them can catch her. No one can really catch Perry. Perry might have been fine. I mean, Perry might have been fine off the jump. She was only 30. She was 37.
She was 37 to the good coming in, so.
Yeah. She's probably the one person sitting in the garage, kind of happy right now.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't really have. I think the only thing she really has to cheer for is the 98 to try and hold on, and I guess the 71 as well, because the 71, that's another Ford, but. Outside of that, it's just those three that are the Fords that are left, and all three of them have had their issues today.
Is Little still sitting 21st?
Yes.
All right.
So what? She's at 59 right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mika, assuming Mika Harina is still in 18th, she's still a point back.
Harina is still 18th, yes.
All right, so things stay as they were. Yukovic.
And the more things.
Yukovic is kind of fighting for the lead, kind of fighting for the win right now. I have to say, which is unfortunate because she's now 5 seconds back.
Yeah, she's fourth. She's fourth right now, but again, she's a bit far back right now.
The 2 points will not. The 2 points will not save her. If she gets the extra 2 points, she's going to need a little bit extra help.
I don't think she's going to get the most lap sled points. I think right now it'll either go to Waterton or maybe Davison. It wouldn't be Davison right now. It'd be Waterton at the moment.
So, even if Haley's moves up to second or third, that's not going to save her. She's going to need to either go out and win this thing or hope that both Little and Mika lose a couple spots. So we still have 300 laps to go, so you can't promise nothing. But...
Well, if anything's to be said here, I feel like Little losing a spot could be on the card somewhat because the 93 is still up to pace, despite being several laps down. The 93 is keeping pace with everybody. The 71's just kind of not really keeping pace, but she's doing her best. I feel like the 93 could gain a spot on the 71, but I feel like that's about the only car the 71 would lose a spot to. Where is the 15? There's the 15.
Ooh.
And there's the 22. The 13 is up 1.5 seconds back. The 32 is 2.5 seconds back.
I saw the 15 moving a little bit slower, and I genuinely thought there was a caution. I was about to freak out.
Nah, don't worry about it yet. We could very well see green flag pit stops here too. Yania Waterton, right now sitting second. She's just behind the 10. Gonna put that 10 car behind her. The 10 car has currently scored 7 laps down. Same with the 3 of Mimi Verino. Those two are just trying to run the rest of the race. They're just trying to get some points. There's Lily Talberson right now sitting 14th. Now she has the benefit of fresh tires right now, so she'll probably be able to gain at least a little bit of ground. If this thing cycles, if we get a full green flag pit cycle, I could see the 39 maybe getting a big benefit out of that if we get a full green flag pit cycle without anything major going on. 98's now dropped to 6 laps down. 22 lapping by her. There's the 15 of Tollerone. 22 trying to lap by her. The 34 of Haurina has dropped to 3 laps down right now. And this car is off pace, but it's still in that mix to maybe try and take the fight to some of these cars, although she would have to now catch the 96 of Rugatino. '93 is going to lap the 1 car here, actually. So again, this should show you how decently fast the 93 is. Despite the fact she's 5 laps down, she's still got the pace to, fight with a bunch of these other cars.
That's good. I mean, it's not much of a concern for anyone. I think the biggest concern of who it is I think Bria Delade, because it means if Bria makes one small slip up,
Yeah.
someone's jumping her, Little could jump her. And just putting more pressure on Delade and Little to perform, because Kosuma, if that car keeps the way it is, it's going to keep itself alive. It's going to keep itself alive in the playoffs. It's going to make it to the 3rd round.
Yeah, that's the thing, is Jukovic is I think that hairy spot is going to be between, it's going to be between Jukovic and Little, I think. I don't see it going really any other way. And I think Jukovic may end up having to win here, because I don't think the 71's slow enough to lose any more spots aside from maybe 1 spot.
I keep seeing Talberson pass people and thinking it's for position, and then I remember it's not.
Yeah, she's 2 laps down at the moment because she came down pit road. We may have a battle for second here fairly soon. The 32 has been pretty close to the 13 for a decent bit. Yeah, if I'm one of these lead lap cars, I want to let this 39 go, because she's on fresher tires. She's way faster. Maybe she can carve holes through the field for me. Well, we're coming up on 2/5 of this race complete. Here from Martinsville. And Talberson's kind of trying to look underneath that 62 right now, but nothing yet. I think she'll get there, though, fairly quickly.
Actually, this might be a little bit of a concern for Jukovic, because she loses 1 more point if Talberson brings Handstrom with her. So this is going to be a set up a strategy right here to see if Jukovic can let Talberson go without letting Handstrom add another spot, which would be not catastrophic, but that would put her down to 55, which means Little's 4 points clear of her.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Risha Vebel's back here, trying to get through some of the lap traffic. Got the 55 pressuring her a little bit, but 55 is just trying to get as many points as she can. The 91 is alongside the 99 here. Actually, interesting note, but the 93, I believe, the 93 is right here. So if the 93 catches and passes the 15, that would gain another point to Tosima. And I think Tosima's pretty well safe. I think Tosima, with the speed she has, unless she blows up here, I think that the 93 is going to be okay. Andrea Davison leads the way from Martinsville. Looks to put a lap on the 96. And now, interesting to note here, the 96 having a lap put on her, that puts her on the same lap as the 34. So Mika Harina, if she catches and passes that 96 car, that's a point for the 34, and that would tie Harina with Little. And Harina actually would have the tiebreak in that scenario.
It's gonna come down to the thinnest of margins.
It is. Ten cars right now scored on the lead lap. It's Davison out front, but she is hung up in a lot of lap traffic, and this has actually brought Rariston and Waterton in the fight. Rariston is going to take second away from Yania Waterton.
Waterton's fine on points. So 80. He's at 83, so
She'll be clear. She'll be well clear, assuming that her current position holds.
And that also would put her with the most points, I think, out of anyone in the playoff, assuming everyone survives. So.
Well, I don't think it would put her ahead of Davison, but.
No, it wouldn't. But second or third is still better than.
Yeah.
The second, well, I think it would be second place is still a huge boost. It puts
Absolutely
between you and the cut line right off rip.
Talberson's trying to unlap her. Talberson's trying to unlap herself. Again, Rariston's pretty much just racing for wins at the moment. Rariston has been good on these short tracks all year. Rariston won back at Bristol and at South Boston. Two pretty short bullring style tracks, kind of like this one. For Davison, maybe I'm trying to protect the lead because the 39 might punch a hole for the 32 to get in. Tommy McJasmine in the 6 car is 11th at the moment. She is actually off the lead lap, but she's been hanging with the leaders most of this time. And there goes the 39 to unlap herself off the 22. She used the lap car there as a bit of a pick there. But Davison's going to be able to get back to the inside of the lap car with Rariston hanging right behind. Here's the 71. The 93 has gained another point. She has gotten past the 15. The 93 is on the pace to catch and pass the 71 here. So, again,
Arenia, so Arena's in 22nd then?
Arenia Tosima is in 22nd place now, yes.
Right, yeah, that puts her at 62, so she's 2 points clear of Delod, 3 points clear of Little.
Delod is 15th at the moment, so I believe,
Oh, Oh no, yeah, so Delod gets an extra point too in that case. She's up
Yeah.
to 61. Yeah, it's little against the world right now.
Yeah. And again, remember that Haurina holds the tiebreak over Little. We might have a challenge for the lead. Here comes Sinlia Rariston to the inside on Andrea Davison. Doesn't have it yet. It's going to be razor thin margins though between that 34 and 71. Here comes the 32 again to the inside, and this time she muscles her way down to the inside on Davison. And she will take the lead into turn number 3. Rariston to the front. Rariston has clearly been showing that she can race on these short tracks. She continues to do it every time we go to one. Waterton now trying to take second from Davison. Meanwhile, Jukovic has actually lost fourth to Handstrom, but she's trying to challenge to take that spot back. Fourth place. And crucial points for Jukovic at play here. 93 has just passed the 71, so that drops a point for the 71 here.
Puts her at 58.
Puts her at 58.
Mika is still in 18th. That puts it at a tie.
That's tied. That gives it that's advantage Haurina now. Carly Byrne back here running an 8th spot. She's having a pretty solid run at the moment. Jocelyn Nihil in 9th. Again, this is the kind of run that she would like to have. Here's Lily Talberson, who's gained a spot. She's up to 13th at the moment.
Where does a Jarsaraj sit?
98. Currently in 27th. 8 laps down. She is the last car running. She can't fall any further back than that, so...
Can't fall any further back. What's going to matter in terms of if we want to count, the extra points you get for third round seeding, she technically drops behind Perry Alicante's.
Yes.
So Alicante's is going to move up to, so Alicante's going to get, a couple extra bonus points. We'll see if that ends up mattering. But yeah, something to look out for. Vebelts is, if Vebelts could get a couple more spots, Vebelts is going to be challenging Eva Jarsaraj for what would be 4th in the standing.
Meanwhile, we've had another lead change. Yania Waterton took it away from Rariston. Yeah, the more laps we run under green, the more that's going to help the 93, because the 93, while she's several laps down, she's in a very good position at the moment because she has a car that still has pace. She's just mired several laps back, but she keeps passing more and more cars she keeps passing cars that are off pace. The 3 leaders now kind of all right with each other, and here comes Davison trying to take second back from Rariston. The 9 car of Carly Byrne has come to pit road. I believe this is scheduled. I believe we are starting to see green flag stops. Yep, 19 is in. And we are going to have a green flag pit cycle here before halfway. It's been about 100 laps since the last yellow, so I'm not terribly surprised. 13 and 22 both in. Then 32 is going to stay out. Now, another question I have, how much will this benefit the 39? Because remember, the 39 pitted way earlier. She pitted about 40 laps ago or something. Okay, she pitted 60 laps ago, excuse me. So she's had 60 laps on fresh tires. 38 is in.
Albertson's not entirely out of it, however. Again, what she's going to need is Mika and Little to lose a couple more. She still has a chance to move up, but again, only moving up a little bit at a time. You know, she's going to basically have to catch Yukovic and pass her to get the spot.
Rariston Rariston's staying out to lead some more. Yukovic is still out there right now. Carly Byrne, or excuse me, Alicia Byrne is third. Marisha Vebelst is fourth. Those are the cars that are staying out right now. And they are still staying out there right now. But new tires are going to be looking very, very strong, at least at the moment. You can make it about 40 more laps in terms of fuel. Whether you want to or not is a completely different story. Twenty cars in. I believe the 32 just pitted. I believe Rariston has come down pit road. Yes, she is on pit road. Yukovic is still staying out at the moment. So the 62 trying to stay out as long as she can, maybe in hope to pick up spots on fresher tires later in the run. Alicia Byrne and Marisha Vebel's doing the same at the moment. Ooh, and the 19 is around!
Oh my goodness.
And Vebels gets caught up in it. And that is a yellow flag in the middle of green flag pit stops.
All right, pen and paper's out. Let's see where this changes. Let's see what happens. So okay, just to confirm, the lowest spot still left of people driving is Ajar Siraj, who was 27th.
Ajar Siraj is 27th, yes. She's
Okay,
11 laps down at the moment.
Vebelts, assuming if Vebelts ends up retiring here, that drops her to 51 points and she's out.
I don't think Vebels is going to retire. I think this car is
I don't
fine,
think so
honestly.
either. But
91 is in pit road. I'm not terribly surprised. The 13 is the free pass car.
Vebelts loses
Officially.
spots for repair that might become. It's gonna have to be a lot of laps to put her in a really bad spot, but it's still.
Yeah.
Just depends, because again, under caution, I think she's gonna get help.
And the 22 is coming back to pit road. I'm very surprised at that. This very strongly benefits the 62.
Which is big, because if she wins, Yanni is going to be in by a mile. That's going to push Little and Mika out. If she's currently the winner, or currently leading, projected to win. So many different ways to say that. Not all of them correct.
The 99 is still on the lead lap, so 62 is officially the leader. The 32 will be waved around now. Now the 1 to go wave around will be different entirely, because the 1 to go wave around will be the cars that are in between the 5 cars that came in on the lead lap coming to this run. So that would be the 62, the 91, the 6, the 64, and the 99. And you know what's kind of interesting? The 6 car got back on the lead lap because she stayed out that as long as she did. So very big benefit for Gianni McJasmina, who was off the lead lap because of a penalty. All right, 1 to go wave around. 22. Okay, so it is Jukovic, Alicia Byrne, Gianni McJasmina, Jocelyn Nihale, and Marisha Vebels that are the lead lap cars. Okay.
What the?
Okay. And that just caused the 99 to tow.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay. Well, that's not her fault, so I'm going to give her her laps back when they come back around.
It's so Virginia of us to just put a giant grass thing in the middle of on the corners just to keep beach people for fun.
Pace car is off. And the green flag is out.
I was about to say, I mistook Vebel's car for Little for a second there. That was interesting.
.39 got a penalty. 13 got a penalty.
Oh. Oh,
There's the
my
99.
goodness.
Cars crashing. Big crash.
Oh my goodness, it's everyone. What the heck? Oh, we're close to the mid-race report. That kind of makes sense.
Oh, Davison, hang on to it.
Davey.
Whoa, that
Heck.
was,
Goodness gracious.
yellow flag is back out. Alicia Byrne has taken the lead.
Wow. 39, did I see 39 piston?
Yes, you did. That
Oh
is
boy.
done for the 39.
Let's see where she ends up. We'll calculate points. Anyone else with a cup with race ending ailments, I should say.
Okay, I should clarify that the 38 will still get waved around here. 38 will get waved around, and then the 99 will get waved around because that wasn't exactly their fault, all of that happening. The free pass car is going to be the 19 of Handstrom. She'll get waved by... Whoa. Okay, well... Alright then.
Sure.
Well, I was going to wave them around, but I'll have to do that again. In the meantime, why don't we check out what on earth caused that?
Oh, Oh,
It was the
no.
8 and the 8 and the 19 racing here. They're 3 wide here. The 8 just gets into the 19. They just kind of hook together into the inside wall. Garnston
Oh my goodness, Abby Little just dodged it.
Little slid through that. Now, the 27's also retired. That actually means the 71's gained some spots. But the 34 has also gained those spots. It gained those spots too, so.
Chance to see where people are once everything rolls about. The young way.
Nah, that's normal. Don't worry about it.
I was just concerned he's about to just send all Abby Little fans into psychosis by wrecking the front of her
We should
car
be
for no
careful.
good reason. You know what? It's Yanni at Waterton. I think she's alright with a little damage.
What?
Oh my... Okay.
And I knocked my microphone over too. That is gonna be bad for Vebbles. That's gonna take
she
her
just
out.
exploded. Oh my god. What happened? Did Youngway spin on her own, or was that... Oh my goodness.
What was that?
Chevrolet sponsored airstrike just occurred. That was what that was.
Why was she stopped? She just stopped in the middle of the track for some reason.
Oh my god, that was... And look, the Mauritius trying to get in front, trying to get revenge. That was an actual, like, brake check
Alright.
by the 38.
Alicia Byrne, Halis Jukovic, Jocelyn Yanahale, Jemmy McJasmina.
Okay.
Then it's Davison, Byrne, and Rariston. Pace car's off. We are about to go back to green flag racing. 99 is out of the race from that. Green flag, we're back to racing. Bria Delade now first car off the lead lap. Interesting to note there. Here's Davison making a move for fourth on McJasmina. With everything being shuffled as is, that's going to change a lot of how the playoff race goes now.
Yep. So let's run points check. So Arenia Tosima sits.
93 is 19th.
That puts her at 22 points in the race, which means she's sitting at 65.
65.
Abby Little currently sits
20th.
with 21 points, so she's sitting at 60. Vebels will finish not 18th. I am
Probably going to end up 25th, if I had to guess.
Yeah, so that's 16 points. She's going to end up with 53. That puts her
That's not going to be
pretty
good
much
enough.
out of it. Delade stands
Is
to
9th
be
at the moment.
9th, so 32 points for Delade. That puts her at... I put that wrong. That puts her at 67 points, which means she's pretty much winner.
Harina is 16th.
That'll give her 25 points. That puts Harina at 60, so they're still tied. Mika and Little. Lily Talberson's out, I believe.
Talberson is out. She's going to end up 27th, so she's done.
Give her 14. Yeah, she's at 37, so she's done. And Jukovic
Is second.
second, which means 40, so she's at 58. So right now, Yeah, Taylor's out, Yenfi's out, Lily's out. And I think with Bebels out, that puts Yukovic out, Mika and Little in by 2.
Okay.
It is Mika and Little at 60, Yukovic at 58, Bebelst is out at 53, and then the next driver after, and then Little and Bria are trying to catch Tosimo's at 65 points. This kind of brings Yappy into the conversation now that Bria has jumped up there.
Yeah.
If
I don't think it's going to be close enough to Yappy, though, for it to matter.
no, but Bria is ahead of Yappy Malik. Yeah, I mean, yeah, in the end, I think Yappy's going to get saved by Yenfi and Zebels regardless. Yeah, because Yukovic isn't going to jump Malik, so isn't, you know, so. I think what would have to happen is Tosima crashes. Tosima and Little both exit the race now. And then Mika Harina fights her way up to the front. Fights her way, you know, through the laps and gets herself to about 67 points. Which would put her in over Yappy.
Yeah, it would be very hard for Yappy to be knocked out, I think.
Let me confirm. I'm gonna confirm my.
Well, while you confirm, I think it's time, because we are past halfway.
Please, it is time.
Time for. I think it is time for the mid-race report. We'll have Rasha and Ellie in the studio. What has been a wild race here at Martinsville so far. Kind of everything has been on the table tonight. We will have all the analysis with them in just a moment. All right, and we're getting the signal now, so take it away, you two.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy race here at Martinsville as we're making our way through back under green here with just 8 cars left on the lead lap right now. Obviously, lots of cars stuck a lap down due to that due to the recent cautions that occurred in the middle of a green flag cycle. So, right now, a lot of cars just trying to work their way back onto the lead lap right now, as is the case with as is often the case when you have these mid-cycle cautions right now. Right, watching the 22 of Andrea Davison here, the one car that's locked into the next round, running in 6th place. But lots to talk about in the first half of the race here, as we'll move over to watch the 91 of Alicia Bird moving her way around lap traffic here to 38 of Youngwei Koo. But yeah, lots of action here at Martinsville so far in this first half of the race.
Yeah, this has definitely been a game changer race for the playoffs. I think anyone could easily say that. I think one of the craziest things we've seen so far has just been all of the big crashes. I mean, we've had multiple of them now. I think one of the most interesting battles is the tie between Little and Harina.
Oh, yeah. Which one is that again? Hang on. Oh, what's going on here? That's 62. Well, this is Mika Harina right here, running without a front. It has been running without a front end for a while now, but it's been very resilient. Forgot to mention this in the Cup pre-race show. Mentioned this at the Continental pre-race show, but obviously with the way short tracks have been in AWSCO in general, is that if you can get away with some without taking race-ending damage, it really isn't. Yeah, if you take damage but not race-ending damage, it doesn't really mean too much. I mean, lots of cars here without front ends or rear ends running pretty well. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you see the 64 here running without a rear end, all the way up in 7th place, on the lead lap still. A few other cars starting to make their way forward. Tosuma's been running without a rear end for a long time, I feel like. She's in 18th here, I think
half the race almost.
Yeah, half of the race so far, yeah. You see the 3 of Mimi Barrino there, who's still running as well. Hasn't been without a front end basically since lap 20 or something. 1798, lots of cars running without front or rear ends, and they're all doing just fine pace-wise. That really isn't a concern here as much as you would in other tracks where aerodynamics are more of a factor. But here it's all about the handling of the car, and that's more setup based than anything else. And so bodywork damage doesn't really do too much to these cars. As we're watching now, the 13 second led a good chunk of the early bit of the race, but found herself 1 lap down as a result of that of the caution. Right now, working her way, trying to track down the 55 of Britta Lod here, who's running 9th, first car a lap down. If we get a caution, she's going to be the one to pull herself back on the lead lap here.
I bet she's definitely hoping for one.
Yeah, she's definitely hoping for a quick caution, I think. But obviously, with the way traffic is right now, might still happen. There's enough cars, about 25, 24 cars still running about. So definitely still some potential here.
It could definitely happen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Continue watching. Oh, we got a car blowing up. That's the 17 of Pacelin Yuria. It's like something major's gone off on that car. Looks like a big plume of smoke. Definitely a big engine failure on that. That's going to end her race pretty much right there.
Well, she made it, so there's not going to be a caution.
Yeah, she made it to pit lane, so no caution there. All good. We're still racing. Comes the 9 and 32. Battle for second, working their way around the 3 now. Meanwhile, the 91 is continuing to build a gap very quick in this run here. Has pulled up 4.5 seconds now on second and third place, who are still navigating their way through the rest of the traffic. And look at all these cars in between the 91 and the 9 right now. So Alicia Burton looking really good here. Looking at our playoff drivers, it's been all sorts of we've seen all sorts of fortunes here. Lots of cars knocked out early, knocked out recently. Cars that have had all sorts of issues. The 71 here, Abby Little's had a few hiccups, running in 20th place right now. But as long as you're still in the race, I think you're in a decent spot. And especially right now with a non-playoff car leading the way, that means you won't get an extra driver looking locking in at the moment. And considering where is the nearest playoff car? It's not the 9 or the 32, not the 93. The 55 is a lap down. The 62 is the one you want to be looking for. Halas Jukovic has been the biggest threat to the entire playoff field so far.
I would say so, especially early on. She ran really, really well. Now she's in a position where her pace is kind of ticked down a bit, but I think she could be just holding off a bit right now, maybe waiting to save that up for the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, right now, not sure what the strategy is to get to the 91, because the 91 just has everything right now. Maybe if a caution comes out, that'll change everything, but right now, you're working with what you're working with. It's all 91 right now. Like, that car seems just a little bit better than everyone else at the moment. So yeah, maybe the 60U is just holding off a little bit, kind of saving up equipment. And looking at the rest of the top 10, of course you have the 64 and the 22 and the 64. The 64 looking pretty decent as well. 13 obviously came in above the cut line, stuck a lap down right now, but running in the top 10 should also be in a good position to finish within above the cut line. 34 is going to be an interesting spot. Running 13th. I think. Yeah, I was going to say 3 laps down, but also only a few spots behind the top 10 right now. So.
And I think there's a good chance that 13 could also unlap herself, especially if we get a caution.
Yeah.
I think there's a great chance. So she's still definitely in this.
Yeah, I mean, as it stands right now, she is in the middle of top 10 cars, obviously. being a car anywhere, between anybody basically on the lead lap right now. Gap, we're just monitoring the gap right here. Still moving up 6 seconds, so 91 putting in decent laps. Fastest lap right now belongs to the 8 of Lori Schliesenbach. Yeah. And we're watching the 91 here. I mean, the gap just continues to grow. That car is just very good in traffic as well. That's another thing. I think that's another thing. Her helping the 91 right now in traffic. She looks confident and just kind of making moves done. And I mean, this is the one MPM car that didn't make the playoffs in any way, shape, or form. So definitely, Manisha Byrne definitely trying to prove a point here. Definitely racing for some sort of ride next season. It is fairly expected that she's going to be on the outside looking in at that team. So a win here would do her a world of good.
I think she could easily do it too. She's got a big lead on most of the cars within contention of her.
Yeah. Right now, given that there's not many cars that are really in contention with contending pace, I'd say the top 10 still are within contending pace, but everyone else is kind of just running their own race at this point in time, so not many cars left, I think, that even challenge the 91. But of course, things can change at a drop of the hat. I mean, the gap just closed in about half a second between the 91 and 9, but still a long ways to go. It's most likely going to need a caution or something big, or at least have to wait until the next pit cycle if we get to that. Which begs the question: if you're the 9 and 32 right now, what do you do?
I think you wait for a caution.
You wait for, I feel like, because not sure what you can do right now, other than maybe hope the 91 is burning off her equipment a little bit in the kind of early run here. Kind of save your tires up, trying to make it up in the late run. We've seen that as well. That's a strategy that could be used. We've seen that actually we've seen that kind of strategy work. It's work fairly well as well in the NASCAR races we see in Martinsville. Kind of saving up a little bit, but using the tires once your other contenders start wearing out further up front. Kind of simulating an overcut by kind of holding back on tire wear. But of course, you can't let that gap build too much, because it's hard to make up a 6-second gap here in Martinsville.
Very hard, but the overcut has definitely been something that looks like it's worked. We've seen the most positions made that way. I don't think there's even an undercut here at all. I don't think you want to try that.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing right now with the way the race is shaped up. The undercut definitely looks more risky. I mean, obviously there's always the risk of getting caught multiple laps down. That's the thing. That's always a thing. That's always a risk when it comes to pit strategy under green flag conditions. But with the way the race has panned out, that's definitely become more of an issue. And getting trapped a lap or two down is definitely a bigger concern, I think, right now than losing that time in the overcut. Performing the overcut initially at the very least, which is odd because that's exactly kind of the opposite of what we saw in the Continental race. So, a bit of an inversion of that strategy going on here today.
Yeah, sometimes it seems like the Cup watches the Continental race and just goes, yeah, we're not going to do that, and do basically the exact opposite of what the Continental schedule does.
I mean, I guess it's to be expected with the way this race is, with how long this race is. 500 laps. There's a lot more time for things to happen, as opposed to the Continental race where there's only 250 laps. So even if things start to happen, there isn't really as much time where things can start, where the effects of things happening start taking form. But here, I mean, looking at this right now, we still have over 200 laps to go.
Yeah, that's plenty of time.
Plenty of pit cycles. Yeah, plenty of pit cycles. At least, let's see, given us run about 70 or so laps on these tires on a good on an ideal cycle. So from this point on, I think there's still about 3 more stops, ideally. So there's so many variables left to consider, I think, and that's something you gotta. And that's with how much race there is left. That's something I think you have to pay attention to when it comes to the FanDuel fan picks, because right now the 91 definitely looks the best, I would think.
She looks the best. Even if you ignore the situation she's in right now, she has handled lap traffic very well. And I think even with a change in, the whole situation going on with being 7 seconds ahead of second place, if she finds herself in first place again or leading, I feel like she could still perform like this. Maybe not get a 7-second lead if we get a caution, but she'll definitely handle herself really well. And I think that's a car we're all probably looking at, and it's the most obvious pick here.
Yeah, track position and handling is going to be the main things to consider in this race, and I think that's what's going to give the 91 the advantage. I mean, looking at the Continental race we had, I chose Tammy Bird to win the race for the same factors, just kind of being able to maintain track position, and the fact that in that race we, for different reasons, almost a different number of for different reasons, we only had a few. We also only had a few cars kind of contending at the end. That one was more naturally based on pace. We just had 3 cars that were just head and shoulders above the rest. In that race, 91 seems to have that. Oh, never mind. The 91's blown up. So, please ignore everything we have said in the last 5 minutes. And we'll probably have a caution on top of that. So, this throws the entire race upside down into a blender and has completely negated everything we've said. So, it might come down to the 9 and 32 now. There's the there's what the 9 and 32 were looking for.
Yeah, and with that,
I don't think we had a caution. Actually, we're not getting a caution, which is interesting.
And with that, I am picking the 9 as my FanDuel pick.
On that bombshell, the 9 is now the race favorite. Yeah, I mean, we've gone from one Byrne sister to the other one now, talking about Carly Byrne in the 9, who now has the track position. We've switched over from one sibling to another. But yeah, this kind of opened things up, and I think the 32 now has a really good chance as well. Cinlia Raristoun also looking for a bit more success. Made the playoffs, but kind of had a bit of a shaky first round. Kind of is the reason why she ended up on the outside looking in here. And these 2 cars, now that the 91 is no longer out of the picture, these 2 cars running 4 seconds ahead of the next car on the lead lap.
Yeah,
that
these 2
might
cars
be
are running good.
Yeah, these 2 cars are running good. But you know who also might be a dark horse in this race? The dark horse racing car, the 55. Look at where she is now. She's gone from kind of on the cusp of the lead lap to right there. The lead lap spot is staring at her right now.
She could unlap
herself naturally on pace right now. Might be a bit of a gamble to go with the 55 car, but that's another driver I could see also competing. If she can get herself on the lead lap. Her and the 13 are definitely factors to think about. But there's lots of racing left to go here at Martinsville Speedway in the Copilot 500, and we'll throw things over now to the booth, where they'll have their own picks here. The race is definitely now opened up as more drama just unfolds here at Martinsville. We'll see you around for the post-race show, but for now, enjoy the rest of the racing here at Martinsville.
And Eddie, first of all, did you finish confirming those points updates for us?
So, I think Yappy Malikson fans, you can breathe a little easier tonight. I do believe Yappy is locked in to the next round. However, with what we've seen, Bria, Dalad, Mika Harina, Abby Little, and Arinia Tosama are not safe whatsoever. But But yeah, so those two are going to be. I'm going to pick Yukovic. Yukovic practically needs someone to explode in front of her or needs to win. I think she's just going to have to unlock any killer instinct she has and just run down the leaders. 4 seconds is doable. Let's hope for her sake and for her chances at a championship she can pull it off.
I'm going to take Cynthia Raristoun. One at Bristol, one at South Boston, and she's led the most laps the last 2 races. I think some of us are a bit shell-shocked by what happened with the 91, but I'm going to take Raristoun because she's looked like a dominant car for a while. She's looked like she's had a car that could compete for the win. She's really good on these short tracks. I think it'll be Raristoun who takes the victory. And with that, move for third, McJasmina.
That's gonna push, and that's gonna push Yukovic down another one.
Yukovic down a point. That's a point she's lost there. 22 of Davison. By the way, the 91 didn't even get reported as making a pit stop there, so what is this? So my main question right now, how does the standing stack up? Who is in and who's out right now?
From what I last got from your last message, which we know has changed recently, Little is now 4 points clear of Yukovic. Probably more like 5 points now. Bria and Irina are definitely starting to pull away here. So it's starting to look bleaker and bleaker as, well, yeah, Bria's an 8. So I can get back to you. I'm currently kind of resetting all my notes. So,
yeah, that makes sense.
I thought there was going to be a lot less movement, and then there was a lot more movement instead.
Yeah, the 91 the 91 kind of shook everything up there.
Yeah, I do believe we have 4 eliminations right now. As Alberson, Happelman, Yenfi, and Vebelt are going to be unlikely.
Yeah,
well,
they're not going to
they
make
could
it.
still advance. I will say there's a because again, a lot of things can be taken away here. So the lowest spot right now, if someone were to finish, is 22nd. So that's 19 points. No, I don't. 19
I don't think
points,
Vebels can get in. And for everybody else, I think that's even less likely.
Yeah, I think Vebel's just like in the worst possible scenario ever. If Bria or Harina were to immediately blow up and finish outside now, they'd get 54. So yeah. Vebels and anyone below her is done. So, still confirming these changes.
So that's 2 of the 3 ERR cars that came into this round. 2 of the 3 ERR cars out of the playoffs.
Yep.
The only one in right now is
Where is Tosima?
Tosima.
Right now in terms of
And the
points?
6 of McJasmine is on pit road. Tosima is 14th at the moment, actually.
27. Tosima's in a really good spot. She's up to 70 points now.
Yeah, she'll be solid. She'll be solidly in. And this is a really good recovery drive for Tosima. All day, just stay in it. I thought it was very much looking like she may be out, but she's gained about 15 positions despite being 5 laps down. So she's doing an incredible job with what she has.
So Bria has moved up to 8th. Maths, come on, Jack. Buddy, you know what you're doing. Come on. Okay. Abby sits where? Well, this is gonna get weird out.
71 is 18th.
Okay, so 41 minus 18, 23. Haley Yukovic is
3rd. Because she's
right,
past
third plus the
McJasmine
extra
now.
point, 39. And Harina sits
12th.
Harina sits 12th. Okay. Okay, mess one of them bio. Very clearly. Okay. So points as they stand. Haley Yukovic is still out. Abby Little has a 5-point cushion on her. Mika Harina has a 7-point cushion. And then the next one is Yap, and then next up is Yappy. So
Yeah.
right now, Bria and Arenia are looking almost solid unless they explode.
Yeah.
It's Little. It's whether Little and Harina lose 5 spots or whether Haley's takes the lead. Because if Yukovic takes the lead, Little is out by 2 points.
Actually, interesting point here now, but Delad's on the lead lap again. Because she got past the 9.
That's gonna help her move up. Andrea Davison right now is pretty much in the driver's seat in terms of most points.
Well, doesn't really matter for her. She's already got the win.
Yeah, looking for, if we're looking at, where the playoff standings are going to stand, assuming afterwards, there is sort of a little bit of a fight. Nihale and Yania, if they can make up a couple spots, could pass Perry Alicantes and even catch a Jar Siraj, who's not having the best of days. In terms of the top 5, that could, any little playoff point counts, and it could very much be a huge positive if.
Yeah. 9 car. Leader is on pit road.
Ooh. Well, hopefully scheduled.
I believe this is...
Yeah. Would be the
I believe this
funniest
is
of all
scheduled,
of
yes.
If Renia Tosima starts to really push, she could catch Nihale and Yania and go from she looked like she, again, you pointed out, was going to have to battle on the cut line. She could be somewhere around like 4th or 5th in the playoffs.
Again, remember how the reset works is that it's 1 point. There, you get a bonus point for each win you have over the season as well. So, Tosima, if she advances, will be number 1 regardless because she has 4 wins, and I don't think anybody can tie that mark. Well, the 55 could, but the 55 is a bit far back right now.
Is it just that? Is it not also you don't get anything else for like points?
Well, it's 2 points for it's 2 points for being the regular season champion,
yeah.
and that's it.
All right.
Right now, it is an Atlantic Racing 1, 2, 3 because they're all staying out at the moment. Rariston, Yukovic, Nihale is the top 3. Davison is 4th, Hanstrom is 5th, and Riadalot is 6th. I believe the 71 of Little has just come down pit road. Now, Little is actually scored in 8 laps down at the moment, but you know what? She's probably going to finish the race, and she's probably going to end up in the 3rd round of the playoffs. So, all things considered, day could have been way worse for Little.
Absolutely. In the end, she got really lucky that the one driver left of the people who were out is right now the one person who was already in the deepest hole.
Yeah. 'Cause Yukovic is pretty much in that position of she has to win. Like, there's not really much other option for that 62 at the moment.
Well, I think the other option is someone explodes.
Yeah. .34 has come down pit road. And again, we do kind of have several races within this race. This has kind of been what Rarison has done on the short tracks all year, though, is she's just been good at the end. When it matters. That's what she did at Bristol and South Boston. South Boston, she almost fell a lap down in the early running of the race. She wound up leading the most laps in that one, pretty much all because she led most of the second half of that race. And the same thing happened at Bristol. She gained... as she's coming down pit road now. But at Bristol, she gained... She fell a lap down, got the free pass twice. She was actually 2 laps down in that race and came back to win that race. 64 is in. So that means Jukovic will stay out again to lead a lap. (62) 19 was on the lead lap. 55 right now sitting third. She has not come down pit road yet. 62 is now on pit road. We may get a full green flag cycle. And wouldn't that be nice to see? After last time's attempt at a green flag cycle ended pretty poorly. So now it comes down to where is the 9. And there's the 9, and look at how much time the 6 car gained on the 9 from pitting early. .55 is on pit road. Now the 9 car is the race leader. Oh, the 62 though. Exiting right in front of them. And the 62 is actually just off the lead lap. Or just on the tail end of the lead lap, excuse me. The 6 of McJasmina takes the lead away from Carly Byrne. 13 of Yania Waterton is still out there trying to get a caution. But I think she'll have to come to pit road very soon, and she's coming down now. There's Davison. Gonna cycle to third now. Rarison 4th. Nihale 5th. Handstrom 6th. Hey, how about the smart strategy from McJasmina to get to the front? And she's taking the lead here. Halis Jukovic has now actually scored a lap down at the moment because she got hung up behind a couple of those lap cars. That's gonna hurt. Because staying out those extra laps, trying to get that caution is not going to pay off. It's going to be the worst gamble for Jukovic. Third place, Andrea Davison in the 22. Fourth place is the 32 of Cinlia Rarison, who led before. Well, actually, Carly Byrne led going into the green flag cycle. But Rarison also led for a bit there too. The playoff picture is shaping up to be very, very intense. Halis Jukovic pretty much has to win to get in. She's trying her hardest to make up that lap she lost. Right now,
Has Abby changed any?
71 is 18th still.
Nope.
And in
Hey,
fact, she's actually
still-
3 laps clear of the next car. So,
I don't think, yeah, Harina's not in danger either. So it is the race right now for the playoff spot is Haley's Jukovic to the front.
Jukovic back on the lead lap now, sitting 7th.
Reno pitting.
Marino's pitting in front of these cars. 11 laps down right now. 13 laps down is the 98. She's the last car running. Again, sitting 22nd.
What in your professional opinion, Echo, do you think is the I guess the benefit of sticking around on the track for this long?
You get tires later in the run, and when you get tires later in the run, that means you have the fresher tires. You have the fresher tires at the end, and that's going to give you more speed towards the end of the run.
When you also compare, I'm also considering this in terms of staying out on the track instead of just saying this car's damaged. Like there's nothing more we can do. Just pack it up. On the we're good. We'll move on.
Well, if staying out there, it just get you points, and that's one thing we're seeing. The 93, they could have packed it up. They were 3 laps down, or they were 5 laps down still. Actually, the 93 is still 5 laps down. She could have packed up and gone home and taken the exit of the playoffs. Instead, she's running 13th and is going to make the next round, assuming all things stay stable as they are. Now, the one thing I'm curious about, how are these drivers going to try to stay out to the end on this tire cycle, or are they going to pit one more time? I think they'll pit one more time, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Ellie, do you got news on what happened to Barrino?
Yeah, it ends up, she ended up having a oil leak, but it wasn't fatal or anything, so she got back out, and, well, she's going to continue to race unless anything crazy happens.
Here's the stat in terms of owners stuff, Ladovic. In terms of team makeup of the final 10, assuming all stays.
Why are you bringing up Ladovic?
I wasn't. I was talking about team composition going into the third round.
You mentioned Ladovic.
I thought I said Jukovic.
Oh.
I might have said something, so I might have mixed something up. That's on me. But assuming everything stays the same and Jukovic, doesn't get to the win, we will have 2 Atlantic cars, 2 Red Racing cars, 2 Mason Parker Motorsports cars, an Evans Ross Racing, an MNC Racing, a Dark Horse Racing, and an MBYW Motorsports car in the third round of the playoffs. Anything you want to take from that?
All the front-running teams seem pretty equal to me. There's a lot of parity in this series. I think that's one thing I'm taking away from it. 6 and the 9 are the two leaders right now. The 13 is trying to get one of her 2 laps back. She fell 2 laps down because these cars pitted early. Arinia Tosima in the 93 still running 13th. Bria Delod running 8th. You never would have thought this was possible for this 55 car to be in the top 10. Meanwhile, Carly Byrne is challenging McJasmina for the lead. Raristoun has whittled the gap down to 8 seconds. Oh, and Jukovic is trying to get by Handstrom here for the 6th position. Now, Jukovic pitted the latest of everybody. She pitted about... Oh, the 15 is slow. She's coming to pit road. But the 62 pitted the latest of everybody. She pitted on lap 344. The 6 car came in on lap 323. So she has 20 lap fresher tires, and we have a caution. There is a car that is spun out somewhere. That might have been the 98 of a Jarsaraj.
Ooh.
The yellow flag is out. The 55 of Bria Delod will get the free pass from this.
Oh boy.
Six and 9 in to pit road. Now again, I think there's going to be one more stop. What in the hell did it do? Okay. So McJasmina, Byrne, Raristoun, Davison, Nihale, Jukovic, and Handstrom are the cars that were on the lead lap going into this lap here. But we've had a yellow flag. This is going to pretty much even everybody up in terms of the tire cycle. Looks like the 6 car will win the race out. Although some cars, I believe, stayed out, actually. Yeah, some cars chose to stay out. Very interesting. So we have a bit of split strategy. I believe the 32 is going to be the leader. (32, 62, 64, 62 all chose to stay out.
Oh boy.
I'm not sure I agree with that call. Well, let's see if we can figure out what happened to bring out this yellow flag. I believe it was the 98 of a Jarsaraj. Oh, it was the 32! Raristoun just got into her, and they spin. It actually didn't damage the 32 too much, interestingly enough. All right. So, Raristoun Nihale. Jukovic, Handstrom, McJasmina, Byrne, and Davison. And the 22 has just gotten stuck.
Oh boy.
That's going to drop her to the back. I will give her her lap back. I may actually not need to. Alright. Rariston, Nihale, Jukovic, stayed out. Green flag. And we are back to racing. Yeah, I'm not going to need to give the 22 her lap back. She actually stayed on the lead lap. There's a 20 getting in the way of a lot. Here comes the 55, Bria Delade, now on the lead lap. Now suddenly Bria Delade has turned from a car just trying to scrape by with points to a car that could have a chance at the win. Harrison doesn't look too worse for wear though with that damage. One, two, three for Atlantic Racing at the moment. Jasmina, I'm kind of surprised to say this, but it doesn't look like the cars with new tires are making that much of a difference on the cars with old tires. At least right now. Diaby Abriella, the lap car in the middle of all this. And as well, there's actually another car that got waved around here, Yania Waterton. She got waved around there by being a car. She was in the middle top 10 wave around. She's back on the lead lap now. She's running 8th. Irina Tosima managed to gain a lap out of that. She's now 4 laps down.
It almost seems like the perfect storm. The fact that we have the Atlantic Racing cars up front right now, one of them, well, 2 of them in, one of them able to get in if they win the race. I want to see what these 3 cars do the next 100 laps, because the other 2 could very much help Jukovic get to the win.
Yep.
Unless, you know, if that's the way the Atlantic Racing owner wants it to go, but, you know, maybe they don't.
I think Jukovic is going to have to drive her way in.
You ain't being handed nothing.
I don't think there is such thing as team orders, at least here. By the way, here comes the 55 of Bria Delade. She's looked fast all race, but she's been stuck a lap down almost all race. She's now starting to make up ground. She's just taking fourth away from Carly Byrne now.
But Abby Little still sit 18th.
She's actually 17th now.
Oh, like it's one more. That just puts things more out of reach for Yukovic.
Yep. It's more down to Yukovic probably have to win if she's going to advance. Oh, Handstrom just got the wall pretty hard. And I could see something at the end of this race, like us seeing maybe some split pit strategy at the end. I could see that playing a factor. There's Gabriella in the 20 car. She's off the lead lap right now, but she's trying to get that lap back. Again, she's the only car one lap down, so if there's another caution, she would be the free pass car.
Ooh,
62 got the wall there.
As both of them.
Yeah, 62 and the 55. Both got in the wall. Here comes McJasmina.
Gabriella has been, I mean, not even a name I think we've mentioned once, and yet here she is top 10 now.
She's been top 10 for a little bit, but
keeping the car on track.
Yeah, she just needs to get back to the. She needs to get back in the lead lap. That's what's gonna keep her in the race.
I think this would be. Yeah. Wow. Nope. This would be the first time since Phoenix and Texas that Gabriella would finish top 10 in back-to-back races that we hold on.
That would be only the second time this season, actually.
Mm-hmm. And also
McJasmina second, yeah. And her and Carly Byrne have taken that spot away from Nihil, and they're going to kind of leave the 64 and the 62 in the dust here, I think. Because these two have fresh tires. They just took tires on that caution. 32, the 64, and the 62 do not have fresh tires. But the 32's been able to get away a little bit. But now she's kind of bottled up in the lap traffic here. Again, as it stands for playoff cars, Nihil is 4th. Yukovic is 5th. Delot is 6th. Davison is 7th now. She's just taken that away from Handstrom. Waterton is 9th. Off the lead lap, Harina is 12th. Tosima is 13th. Little is 17th. And Ajar Siraj is 22nd. Everybody else that came in the playoffs is out of the race, which includes Marisha Vebelst, Lily Talberson, Taylor Happeman, Yappy Malikson, Perry Alacantes, and Yenfi Yanaga. .32 is going to try to put the 71 another lap down. That's going to get the 71 back to 7 laps down. 71 gained a lap based on being in the top 10 wave around. .100 laps to go for Martinsville. The 9 of the 6 are closing on the 32, by the way. It's the gap is whittling down quite a bit here. The 9 car goes a bit wide. The 6 car is going to get to the inside. You know, this would be a big win for McJasmine if she's able to get it. She won back in Montreal. McJasmine has been good on the road courses all season. It's been kind of questioned whether McJasmine is going to stay in this car. If she's able to take the win, she might be, she might pencil herself in a spot next year in the Cup Series. Despite the fact that she made the playoffs, her seat was kind of in question. Raristoun still out front. I'm honestly curious who's going to get credited with leading most laps today. Because there's a lot of different drivers that have led in this race. And look at the 6 car. She is absolutely flying through the field right now. Trying to get to that 32. She's narrowed the gap down to less than a second. Bria Delade now in 4th place. Nihil gets into the wall. She's going to get jumped by Davison here. This is another car I'd want to watch is Davison because, you know, she restarted well back of everybody because she got stuck. On the grass there, but she's managing to climb up through again. It's not hurt her too bad. Jasmine had closed up to the 32, but the 20 car decided to dive bomb down and say hello as the 34 is blowing up.
Oh my goodness.
And this is changing a lot for the playoff picture. And Harina's done. Harina is done. And now I think this puts the cut line battle between Jukovic and Harina.
Yeah, where's Harina gonna finish?
21st or 22nd, excuse me.
Don't think she led any laps. So
She did not.
That'll get her 54 points. So right now, Jukovic is sitting. So 37. Oh boy. Oh boy, it's Jukovic 55, Harina 54.
Oh wow.
If Jukovic loses,
Jukovic would hold tiebreak, so she would need to lose 2 spots here.
Yeah.
Ellie?
Yeah, I've got reports on what exactly happened to the 34, and it looks like the clutch just went on that car, and this is a very game-changing incident for the playoffs, while also very unfortunate for her as she was in a slightly decent position.
Well, while we were focusing on that, there was a lead change. Byrne took it away from Cinlia Raristoun, and then McJasmine has taken it away from Byrne. So, maybe a car we weren't expecting that much in this race, the 6 of Gianni McJasmine. She hasn't really looked all that great on these kinds of tracks. But she did finish 3rd at Iowa. That's her only top 10 on an oval this year. Here comes Raristoun battling Carly Byrne. Oh, 3 wide. Be careful. They're being careful. Well, they're not being careful, but... Okay, now Jukovic is 6th. So she is, I believe, what? She sits... Doesn't she sit tied with Harina now?
yes, yep. When losing that spot, it's gonna be 54 and 54.
54 and 54. And that is for the cut battle, correct?
Yeah, that's it. Vebolt's is it? Oh man, this was the Marisha Vebolt's worst nightmare. She's sitting at 53.
Oh, wow.
If Harina had gone out one spot earlier, like, Vebolt's might have caught her unless it was tiebreak.
Now, again, this is going to be a struggle for Jukovic because, keep in mind, Jukovic doesn't have fresh tires. Pretty much everybody else on the lead lap does. The Atlantic Racing cars chose to stay out on the last caution. And now all three of them are struggling with grip because they don't have tires. For Jukovic, she's going to have to hang on. Assuming we don't get another green flag pit cycle, which I would not be surprised if we in fact got a green flag pit cycle. There's still just over 80 laps to go, and Gianni McJasmina is the leader.
I'm watching that gap. I think it's within 3 seconds now between Jukovic, Nihale, and Waterton.
Well, if I'm Jukovic, I'm worried about Waterton more than I am about Nihale. Because Nihale's on the same tire strategy as me. And that means that the 64 is going to be about the same pace as her. I'd be worried about the 13 because the 13's not on the same tire strategy.
This might prove it here. You can pull this move.
Little's moved up to 16th. So that's even more insurance for her. Byrne has gone past Rarison yet again. Second place, changes hands. .38 car coming to pit road. That could be the signal. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some lead lap cars come in with about 70 laps to go. Especially, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the 32, 62, and 64 come in. I'm pretty sure they can't make it on fuel.
Things going down to the wire all over the place. Everything's getting frayed. You gotta love it. Martinsville.
Absolutely. Even with all the chaos early in the race, there's still a good battle here.
Funny because I'm pretty sure I spun the wheel and it chose Mika Harina to win the whole thing. So.
Oh yeah, that prediction's probably in the dust.
Well, of course, it wasn't the first time. I'm just trying to see if I beat anyone. Which was funny because I think 3 people filled it out total.
Yeah.
Times are starting to get worse between the 62 and the 13. I think the 62 is taking advantage of clean air. We're gonna see here.
Well, where is the 13 right now?
Yeah,
oh yeah, 13
4
is in 13 is in traffic. Yeah.
Or 3/4 of a second.
I mean, that was also kind of the thing that was benefiting the 32 for a bit there, was the 32 had the advantage of the cars behind her were in traffic.
Yeah. Funny, Jukovic leading a lap early in this race may be the difference between her advancing and her getting knocked out.
Yeah.
We have 70 laps to see if that is really the difference. Is
A car on pit road.
Going to come down now.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at all to see pit stops as the 20 car of Gabriella has actually just unlapped herself. '64 is in. Lead lap car. Yeah, those Atlantic Racing cars are definitely trying this alternate strategy. And I think that means we're going to see the 62 in pretty shortly. I think we're going to see the 32 in at some point as well. Which that leaves the question, what do the rest of the lead lap cars that came in about 60 laps ago do? Do they come in with these cars? Or do they choose to stay out? Do they choose to stay out longer and try to kick them back?
It's going to be a choice that neither of us will know for the next probably, I don't know, 10 laps?
30 laps, probably. Bria
I
DeLaude.
was about to say 30 laps, and I was like, you know what, let's underestimate just for the sake of things.
Bria DeLaude's moved up to third now. So she's now become the top playoff driver in the field right now. While DeLaude is in a spot where she'd make it either way, it would be very interesting to see if DeLaude...
Oh. This one's not going to deal with that.
If DeLaude can win coming from below the cut line.
That would be huge.
Especially with how this race has gone for her. It kind of feels like... It kind of feels like this track is... It kind of feels like with short tracks as the 32 is on pit road. '62 is in. She will give up 5th place for that. Now, 13 comes in as well. I think the 13 may actually have been on the same tire strategy as those two. And the 19 is in as well, so... Where do these cars end up moving to? There's a 62 and 64 right next to each other. Now the 62 is scored in 7th place at the moment. There are more cars on pit road. 19 is taking a long time on her pit stop. I'm not sure what's up there. That's going to take her out of the race, out of the running for this race. Everyone did 4 tires there pretty much. Now here is the 32.
Long enough since the Harina explosion. I do want to check to see if it did officially score her as 22nd.
It did. I already checked that. But yes, it did score her 22nd. By the way...
Jarsaraj still being in 18 laps down is incredible, by the way.
15 down, but yeah. By the way, Irina Tosima is now scored in 10th place. She is in the top 10. She could feasibly get a top 10 while being 4 laps down.
one of the ERR cars wanted to show up. I think name.
Well,
The
there
other-
were
one
3 of them that
one
showed up. Just
One got cooked. When the other one, I don't know. I don't exactly know what happened to Lily Halverson. I think.
she blew up, and then
Yeah.
Vebbles just kind of got messed up. There's Yukovic. She's dropped behind Nihil now, but these cars are making their way up through. And this is the question that remains for me. Do these cars that are out there on track right now come down pit road again? Or do they choose to stay out and try to last until the end? On the set of tires they're on now.
What cars ahead of Yukovic are probably going to pit in the next couple eventually?
The 6, 9, 55, 22, and 20 would all be, they all have not come down pit road. The 6 is in. The 6 is in.
All right.
So they are all going to come in here. 9 has chosen to stay out. 22 is in.
65, I think, stayed out. Just the 20.
The 9 stayed out, and I believe the 55 also stayed out.
55 is going to have to stay out unless the 38 is going to give way. I called it!
And that's a yellow. And Dalad gets run into by Stoneman. And that is going to take Dalad out of the race.
And that's, I think, going to hand Yukovic the win. Or hand Yukovic the final playoff spot.
32 of Ariston will be scored. 6 car technically has not taken the caution flag yet, so.
38 car. It's Young Wei Ku.
What?
Okay, it's just Michasma chilling. Holy moly. Chevrolet Camp Hydrogen Bomb.
Oh! Rariston runs into her teammate. 55 is done.
He's gonna pit.
And you know what that actually did? That put the 20 car on the lead lap. The 9 is coming back down pit road.
Do you think this helps or hurts the 62?
Well, the 62 is probably going to be on the lead lap here. So I think this definitely helps her. The 20 is the leader. A lot of cars I gotta wave around. So the 20 and the 9 were officially the only 2 cars scored on the lead lap prior to the caution. That actually knocks the 62 off the lead. That actually will kick the 62 off the lead lap there because of that, but 5 cars now scored on the lead lap. It is Abriella, the leader of the race now. Byrne, Rariston, McJasmina, and Davison. That's the 5 cars that are on the lead lap at the moment. Green flag with just under 50 laps to go. Who's got the best car? Here comes Carly Byrne, muscling her way to the inside.
Oh, they're bumping and banging back there.
13, 38, 22 with a penalty.
I think Jukovic is making a move.
Jukovic, well, this isn't
Oh,
for
it's
position, though.
32.
This is not for position.
Still,
So,
let's see, 35 points. That puts her at 53. She's going to need one more point to get by Harina.
yes, but where is Delod now in the mix? Because Delad's going to end up 20th.
Oh, you're right. 20th, that puts Delod at 21. Oh, boy. Well, Delod got a point for leading a lap, right?
I don't think she did.
Well, that puts her at 56. So she's 2 points clear of Harina.
Okay. So,
She's 21st.
Jukovic has scored 6th at the moment.
Okay, she just got 6th. That's gonna put... Yeah, that's gonna put her in right now. She's at 54. She needs to finish 6th or higher. Anything worse.
And
is
here
down.
comes Davison for that
Davison to the
6th
inside.
spot. So hang on. Is it 7th place would put her behind Harina or tied with Harina?
7th place would put her behind.
Okay. Well, she's
Jukovic
lost
started with 8th.
7th. She may lose 8th. She's lost 6th. She may lose 7th here as well because here comes Handstrom.
Right.
Oh, and she's in the
Oh, she got
wall.
the wall! Holy cow. Okay, so I'm gonna clear up the map. I think everyone else is safe. Abby Little is currently sitting where?
15th.
15th, so she's up to 26. So she's at 65 points. She is well clear. She is good. Brigida Lod sitting in 20th. It's 21 points. Add that to 35. She's at 56. Harina started the day with 35 points. She gets 19 for finishing in 22nd. That puts her at 54. Haley Jukovic started with 18 points today. She currently is sitting in 7th, which means she has 34 points plus the lead lap point, which means she has 35 points. 18 plus 35 is 53. She is 1 point behind Harina for the final transfer spot. And that is where we stand. Abby Little, assuming she does not crash out, will likely be in. I think we can also check off, I believe we should also check off Waterton, Nihale, Ajar Siraj, Andrea Davison. Even if they wreck, they'll be fine. In terms of points, the people who just need to finish this race where they are, Marina Tosima. Actually, where is Tosima right now?
She's 11th.
Okay, so she's fine. She's at 73, she's fine. And Abby Little's at 65, she is fine. Abby Little's like 10 points clear right now, cut line. It is down to whether Ilyse Jukovic can finish 6th or higher, 6th or better.
Well,
Or
she's
if
on the
Tosima-
64 here.
Oh boy.
Now, what I'd be curious is, there's no real loss to the 64 falling out, but it's going to be an Atlantic racing car in either way. Do you tell the 64 to move over to let the 62 in? Or do you let them race it out?
And
Because-
remember, the person who's sitting in the garage right now is also an Atlantic racing car.
Exactly. The 34 would be knocked out if the 62 gets passed. The 62 would be knocked out if the 64 hangs on to this spot.
The Atlantic racing trolley problem at Martinsville.
Now remember,
And of course,
How else
Gianni
you could-
Waterton just waiting there, just to ruin it all.
Well, Waterton is 2 laps down. Waterton is not on the same lap as these cars. Now,
I see.
another thing to remember, Jukovic isn't re-signed to Atlantic Racing yet for next season. We've had the re-signing period start. Harina did re-sign. Jukovic hasn't yet. How will that affect things?
Juiciest storyline that's ever occurred anywhere near AWSCO. Everything building up to a moment.
There may be a challenge for 10th, because Tosima is closing in on Larry Schliesenbach for that spot. Here's the 6 of McJasmine. She went really wide, but McJasmine is trying to do her best to catch these top 2 right now. Gabriella, after all this, may end up finishing 2nd. She got back in the lead lap there with just some very good timing of that yellow flag. Carly Byrne leading the way, though. Late in the going. Byrne has come so close so many times this year. It's looked like she's had a car that can win a race a lot, but she just hasn't been able to close the deal. If she can get the win, that would put ERR, I believe, as the only team to have all 4 of its cars with race wins this season.
Finished this season was 2nd at Daytona Road Course.
Yep. She came close to winning that race. A good pit strategy call in that race, actually, is what got her the P2 in that one.
Us in the end at Renia Tosima. Probably could have let that win by. Just the one.
Well, I think it was like 4 seconds back. Byrne was like 4 seconds back. I think Carly Byrne took 2 tires on a late stop.
Gotta fight up to Gabriella if he wants it in their lap cars in front of him. Yo! I always never understood why we put a camera shot there, and then you watch the races and the amount of concern you gotta have for them just looking like they're just gonna plow through someone. It's incredible.
Yeah, no kidding. Here comes Gabriella. She's looking to the inside. And Gabriella wants to go 2 in a row.
Please no. The capital Ovechkin is not going to retire for this nonsense.
The 20 car out front.
Oh my god, the 9's getting held up.
9's been shuffled behind that lap car there.
If the 20 wins and Harina gets knocked out at the very end by Jukovic last lap pass, you will see me on the news.
Here comes Carly Byrne, though. She's trying to get back to the 20.
Oh.
They're lapping the 71. I've put Abby Little now 9 laps down.
Hey, she's done what you need to do. 20 more laps to just not have the car implode on her, and she's in the final 10. That's something we expected.
Gianni McJasmina, by the way, has brought the gap down to about 3.5 seconds. She was about 5 seconds back at one point, so she's starting to close in, but the question there is more, is it going to be enough? Does she have enough time to make that gap up? Gabriella leads with 20 to go, 19 to go now. Looking to go 2 in a row. Carly Byrne in second. She's been snake bitten all year. The one Evans Ross Racing car that did not make it to the playoffs.
That would be the ultimate irony of the one ERR non-playoff car winning the night. Two of them get
Knocked out.
well, knocked out isn't the right word for what happened to Vebbels. But I can't say the other word I'm thinking of because I think the censors would get mad.
The FCC would probably get mad at us, do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's not a straight curse word, but I think it's close enough of a euphemism. Oh well. I could say they got screwed. I feel like screwed is a toned down version of that, but given two of them kind of got screwed out.
Yeah.
Sort of problems that were not their own fault. Have the one snake bitten ERR car win would just be a pure thing of irony. But 14 laps, the gap is still less than a second. But I don't know if Carly Byrne is something in that car to get a pass done. I think she's going to lose time here. No, she's going to gain a little bit of time.
She'll gain a little bit. The 20 is going to be held up in the lap car. Again, getting through these lappers.
Roadblock.
Parkings is a teammate to Abriella. Keep that in mind as well.
Of course, Abriella would be a teammate of Parkings. That was a dig at Abriella, and definitely still on Parkings, but more on Abriella.
Lap car is not posing too much of a trouble for the
No.
20 right now. And Abriella has come from multiple laps down in this one. So it would absolutely be an earned win for that 20 car, if she can hang on.
Oh man, Yukovic can't get past 64.
Windows 11 to go has been reached. DeGavi Abriella leads Carly Byrne, Jamie McJasmina, Cinlia Rariston, and Andrea Davison. Those are your 5 cars on the lead lap at the moment. The final playoff spot is coming down to an Atlantic Racing battle of teammates. And here we go. Here comes the 62 to the inside.
Here we
This
go.
could be the spot she needs.
If I did the math right. This is still all uncertain because I'm not the stats guy, and I think I don't know if Nihil's gonna get a chance to come back here.
Nihil's got back down to the bottom. Rarison's been passed by Davison.
Moore's gonna need some help from the 93, but I think the 93 is faster than the 62, so 93 is gonna not pose too much of an issue. Besides maybe dirty air.
Well, the 93 was the one who punched that hole for those cars, so for the 62 to get through. Fastest
For
lap
one
point still
real
belongs to
tight.
the 8 right now.
I think it's gonna be well, we don't get to see the gap, but I think the gap increased. I think the 64 is running real tight on the low line, and that is not helping her whatsoever.
Yeah, the gap's definitely gotten bigger. And Abriella's starting to pull away from Carly Byrne.
Yeah.
A well-timed yellow helped her. A well-timed pit stop got her the lead. She's going to have another lap car to get through, and that's that 32 of Rariston, but This could really be the final challenge for Gabriella, but Gabriella kind of goes a little wide there.
Oh, the 32 shut the door. Larissa does not want to get lapped. 3 laps to go.
3 to go.
What's the gap gonna look like now? 4/10. That's not a lot. They're gonna need a lot more. And I think the 20. Yeah, the 20 is gonna get around. I think Gabriella.
20's going to get around. Now they're catching slower lap cars, though, because the 1 is here. But it's going to be 2 to go. Gabriella's going to try to go for her 2nd consecutive win. She'll get by the 1 pretty easily here. White flag will be in the air this time. 1 lap to go for Gabriella. It looked like it was a pretty soft season. Not much to talk about. She won Talladega last week, but this is going to be the drive she'll remember. Multiple laps down to victory lane. Gabriella stays on top and wins at Martinsville. And I believe Jukovic is in.
6th, yes.
She finished 6th. Again, this is not official.
Nope. Nothing I say is usually official. Let's make that very clear. But if my math is correct, the last 10 drivers in the play, the drivers moving on to the 3rd round are Andrea Davison, Ivo Jarsaraj, Perry Alacantes, Jocelyn Nihale, Yania Waterton, Yappy Malakson, Bria Delad, Orania Tosima, Abby Little, and Haley Zukovic by a tiebreaker. So hold on stats.
We will still be waiting official word from the AWSCO officials about how this race about who advances and who is eliminated. But with that being said, what were your thoughts on this race, and how do you feel about how the 3rd round's going to go with the tracks we have in it?
I mean, I was just happy in the end that this race, in the end, just kind of brought the entertainment factor. I was definitely sitting around, I mean, even doing notes, knowing, like, I was going to be in for a long night. I don't think this was as long of a night as it felt like it. Entertaining, even with the wrecks and just sort of general other Martinsville nonsense. Again, really happy the paperclip ends up being sort of an elimination race. You can kind of see why it deserves to be. Props to everyone who survived, the 19 cars that did in fact finish. You know, that was a gauntlet. Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm not saying congratulations to Gabriella. That fake Capitals fan hasn't earned it yet. But I think congratulations to the 10 drivers who made it in. Haley Zukovic, I mean, fighting through everything. Feel really bad for Harina and Vebels. I mean, Vebels was 1 point away. If Vebels just doesn't, if Ku just doesn't stop there, I think Vebels easily gets her way in, and you know, we're not really even having this conversation because Arena and Jukovic are out. And yeah, I guess big props to drivers like an Abby Little, Arena Tosima, and Bria Delad. I mean, Bria Delad really did all that and still had to scrape by through the cut line. Abby Little basically just kept her head down and just fought through 500 laps to get in. And I think we're also starting to see if hot streaks are such a thing that is going to carry someone to the title. We're seeing drivers who have those hot streaks. Andrea Davison clearly out in front. I expect to see betting odds shift in her favor next couple of races, and yeah, I think that's about it. I'm just really happy in the end that Martinsville, despite the other two racetrack, I've called the other two Virginia short tracks, and I can say that I think the playoffs does make a huge difference because I felt like I was entertained and tense and there was drama all over, which I feel like is what needs to be said about a AWSCO race.
Yeah, and a very, very exciting race indeed. We're going to take you down to our FanDuel fan studio here. They'll have the analysis on who all made it through. They'll have the official point standings. And they will also have their analysis of the next round and who they believe will be their favorites to make it to the championship round. Take it down to Rasha and Ellie in the FanDuel fan studio. Take it away, you two.
All right, and welcome back to the FanDuel fan studio here as we're now at the end of the Copilot 500 here at Martinsville. It was a very eventful race, to say the least. Lots happening in this 500 lap race. The Gabby Abriella, though, on an absolute heater right now. 2 wins in a row for the driver of the number 20. Team Flurvin Toyota Camry definitely making a claim there for some sort of ride in the Windows Cup Series next season. But yeah, lots of drama really determining the race. Determining the course of the race, and alongside it the playoffs. Alongside it the playoffs, how the playoffs shook down at the end. Davison, of course, coming into this race already in, so not much of a worry for her, and a good result. Good result for the team regardless of that. Still finished in the top 5 with a 4th place finish. I think not having the pressure of having to get a good result in the end definitely helped the 22. Started out back, managed to kind of navigate her way through all the traffic, and ended up with a good finish regardless. Yarsaraj and Waterton with good runs obviously as well. Alacantes, Nihil, Tosama, Malakson, Little, Delon, and I believe Yukovic will be the last car in through the tiebreaker. Those are going to be your 10 cars making it to the 3rd round of the playoffs. Lots to go coming up here, I should say. Even though we only have 4 races left in the season, it's a varied set of racetracks we have coming up here. We have the road course at Laguna Seca, then the big pack racing esque speedway, I should say, at Atlanta. Then you have the mother of all strategy racetracks, Rockingham, as well. So that's there's gonna be a lot for these teams that are still in the playoffs to think about for these next 3 rounds. Same as with the continental for the continental teams, of course. But you have that road course thrown in there since we do run the road courses here in the Cup Series. What did you think of the race? What did you think of the drivers that advance, and what do you think the chances are going to be making that final round where the winner take all race at Homestead, Ellie?
I thought that was a great race. Martinsville is really fun like that, and that was probably one of the more fun Martinsville races I've actually watched. Andrea Davison had another great race, but I think a car to look at is obviously the 20 out of Abriella. She is going to be a great car for a pickup next year, or just to argue to stay where she's at. I think she's definitely been turning... I guess the way she's looked around, at some point in the middle of the season, she was like kind of just out there, and she's definitely picked it up, and
Yeah.
I feel like she's definitely a driver that is going to be somebody to pay attention to next season. And now more towards back into the playoffs and that final round, I think this is an interesting field. I mean, with her, the way Little clinched was honestly really crazy.
I mean, yeah, lots of stories like the one, like Abby Little, where advancing, I should say, through sheer determination. Same with Tosama, of course, who had that problem early on, dropped her dropped her a lap or two down, had her driving without that rear end, just kind of drove through everything basically to kind of to secure her spot in the next round.
Yeah,
As somewhat surprisingly the only Evans Ross racing car, but also not the only Mercedes in there. The real big surprise, of course, the MBYW car of Yania Waterton. A performance good enough to get her to the next round once again. Definitely, I think the surprise package of this playoff, of this season's playoffs, that 13 team has done quite a lot in these past 6 races to weather the storm, more or less. And we'll see if the 13 team has one last trick up their sleeve here. Same with that 71 team, both Abby Little and Yania Waterton, both kind of outside factors, perhaps, in the beginning of the playoffs, but have made their way through the whole way. And if you look at the teams that are in here, the rest of the teams that are in here, you have, of course, the one Evans Ross racing car, the Dark Horse racing car of Bria Delade, a few Atlantic cars, a few Red cars, a few Mason Parker cars, and then you have the satellite teams, quote unquote, of the 13 and 71, both aligned with those bigger teams, but obviously not with as many doesn't have as many resources as those big 4-car teams that are in the playoffs. So definitely nice to see those two satellite teams here in the third round of the playoffs. Definitely speaks of the parity we have here in the AWSCO Cup Series.
Yeah, it's been interesting to just kind of watch unfold as well. I mean, Abby Little's kind of been like a spectacle where everybody kind of just thought she wasn't that great in the middle of the season, and she just slowly picked it up. Even in her playoff record, she hasn't been that bad at all. But again, I can't get my mind off of Andrea Davison. She's had an insane run. Mm-hmm. Middle of the season, end of season, into the playoffs, it's all been great with Andrea Davison. I mean, she's had the most top 10s out of anybody. Mm-hmm. I think she's a clear favorite to just outright win.
Yeah. 17 top 10s in the season, including 4 in the playoffs here. All of them top 5s, oddly, also. And a worst finish of 19th. We mentioned great points racers, the likes of Freya von Lundqvist in the Continental Series. Davison is doing exactly that as well, with managing to get results in every single race, no matter what. And I feel like we almost lost one of our main rivals there in Hollis Jukovic, who's also been excellent all season long, pretty close by with 15 top 10s and 10 top 5s, the same number as Davison with one more win. That 6th place finish saved her by a tiebreaker, and if it wasn't for that, perhaps one of Davison's main rivals might not be in this right now. But definitely a very stacked group of 10 cars here that are in this round. I mean, if you look at the drivers right now, most of them have over 10 top 10s.
Yeah, and I don't think any of these top 10 drivers are drivers to scoff at, any of them. Even the ones where we thought were like, oh, they kind of just got lucky or kind of just clinched. I think all of them have a really good shot. Mm-hmm. And I think Jukovic is also another one to look at. She's been pretty solid as well, and she was in a kind of not the best place leading up to this race.
Yeah, definitely a do-or-die situation heading into this race after 2 poor showings in the first 2 races of the round.
Yeah, but the fact that she did it, I feel like definitely shows she still has her head in the game, and she's going to be one of the cars to look out for.
Yeah, I feel like if you look at the top 5 right now, that is after reseeding, Tosima Delade, Jukovic, Davison, Ayar Siraj, I'd say those are the favorites to make the final round. You could argue between, say, Aguiar Siraj, Alacantes, and Malakson. All 3 of those cars are really good. Even Nihil, of course, still doesn't have a bonus point. But in terms of consistency, is probably right up there as well with Jukovic and Davison. let's see, her in this last round. Two top tens. Worst finish of 36th, which was a retirement after a crash at Oregon. So that's another driver to think about. It's a little bit less definite, I want to say. And then, of course, you have Waterton and Little, who have been the wild cards in this. What do you call it? The wild cards in this during this postseason. And you think about it, and yeah, I wouldn't count anyone out right now. At the very least, there's so many good teams that are still here.
Yeah, for sure, and I think there's obviously clear favorites, but I also think that lately it's been a showing of the underdogs as well, and I think that is probably going to stay the same. I don't think it's going to translate into trying to see what I'm trying to say here. It's basically, I don't think that's going to change much, and I don't think we're going to see some of the top drivers just completely wash the underdogs out. I think it's going to be very competitive still, is what I'm trying to say.
And still very much a wild card race coming up with that Atlanta race in the middle of the round. And even Rockingham with the kind of strategies that can be thrown up at that race.
Yeah, Rockingham and Atlanta are going to be...
Yeah. And road courses, of course, a little bit less unpredictable, but still very... still going to be very... can throw up the what do you call it? It could definitely throw up some different results, as we've seen before. And with that, I think we'll wrap up our post-race show here. Thank you for joining us here in the FanDuel Fan Studio for here in Martinsville Speedway. Next up, of course, we're moving on to the West Coast. A pair of races in California. The Continental Series heading out to Kern County Raceway Park, and the Cup Series heading out to Laguna Seca for their the last road course of their season. To start off the third round of the playoffs here on ESN. Thank you for being here with us, and over now to Echo to close out the broadcast. I've been Rasha, and with Ellie here in the studio. Thank you.
Yeah, and the 10 cars that have made it to the third round being Tosima, Dalad, Jukovic, Davison, Ajar Siraj, Alicante, Smalikson, Waterton, Little, and Nihale. 10 strong cars. Only 5 of them will compete for the title at Homestead in just a few weeks. We've got racing from the West Coast, California, in not too long. It's Kern County Raceway Park, Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway in Bakersfield, California, in the Continental Series, and then we're going to the Central Coast in Laguna Seca for the Windows Cup Series. We hope to see you there. On behalf of Eddie, Rasha, and Ellie,